Welcome everyone to Cleveland, Ohio and Gund Arena, home of one of the most improved teams in the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers, who tonight take on Paul Pierce and the Boston Celtics. It's game one of our TNT NBA doubleheader. And now tonight's McDonald's starting lineups: Mike James, Paul Pierce, Yuri Welsh, Mark Blunt, and Chris Mim for the Boston Celtics, who come in 23 and 29. A front court of Williams, Ilgauskas, and Boozer. And Boozer's played some terrific basketball of late. And a Cavalier backcourt of newly acquired Jeff McInnes and the fabled LeBron James. The Cavaliers come in at 19 and 32. With John Thompson, Steve Kerr, and sideline reporter Craig Sager and our entire TNT crew. Kevin Harlan with you. John, great to have you doing a game, and you've got two of the premier players in the Eastern Conference tonight, Paul Pierce and LeBron James, on display.
Well, we definitely do, Kevin, but I think the key will be Carlos Boozer. I think he'll be the difference maker, and Celtics have to control him.
And Steve, what are you watching for tonight?
Well, it's just going to be interesting to see Boozer and James working together. These two guys are future all-stars, and the buzz is back in this building. It's so exciting to feel the energy back here in Cleveland.
And while you didn't play in this building, you at one time played for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, in Richfield in the early 90s. Remember, those Cavs had some great teams, guys like Larry Nance, Brad Daugherty, Mark Price. And for a long time now, the Cavs have just not had any interest in this town, but it's definitely back.
Here's Ilgauskas, who hits the shot. And that will tie the game at 2. He was an all-star center a season ago, but John, he will now be going to Los Angeles this year.
Well, and I think that he has played extremely well. I think he's going to create a problem for the Celtics, particularly if they stay behind him, because he's capable, Kevin, of just turning with his length and his touch of making that shot if he can receive so easily.
And here comes Jeff McInnes, who has taken some of the point guard duties out of the hands of LeBron James, and that can do nothing but take pressure off him and give him more flexibility as Ilgauskas misses.
Well, and LeBron James runs so well that you want to get him out on the break. You don't want him to always have to bring the ball up the floor, and McInnes will take care of some of that ball handling responsibility.
Cavaliers come in having lost 3 consecutive games. That was a pass for LeBron James. And the Celtics have lost 6 of 7. And John, as a former Celtic, you can probably appreciate this. They are rebuilding and trying to strengthen themselves for the future.
Well, and that's the thing. I talked to Danny Ainge before the game, Kevin. One of the things he said is he had to be patient. He's reshuffling some pieces. I don't think the Celtics have established their identity yet, but it's going to take a little bit of time.
So two teams having have some extended losses, and now they are back in, and that's 4 points in the game for Blunt. At the other side, it is LeBron James.
Well, and that's the difference, Kevin, I think a McInnes makes, because in coming down the court like that, LeBron doesn't have to think, and that's exactly what he was talking about when he indicated the fact that LeBron is not playing the point position. Point position is a very difficult position to play for a newcomer.
So the Cavaliers on top by 1. Cleveland is in 11th place right now in the Eastern Conference, yet only 3.5 games out of the playoff race in the East.
Well, I think what's been interesting, too, is they're just now starting to figure out how to win. They have a lot of ability. They were losing so many close games in the first couple of months of the season, but now they're understanding. They've got to defend. They've got to take care of the basketball. They're finding roles. They're figuring out who they're going to go to during crunch time. And I really believe this is a team to be reckoned with the rest of this season, let alone the future.
Celtics, on the other hand, are right now in that 8th and final playoff position as LeBron James comes soaring in, and he has 5 points to start things off.
You know, I've only seen him play in person a couple times, but it is shocking to see that athleticism. Did you see how fast he ran down the floor?
Well, it's shocking to you. How you think it was to John Carroll? Stop him.
Tapped by Boozer and saved by the Cavaliers. Here comes Jeff McInnes, and looking for Ilgauskas, who bumps inside into Chris Mim. These two teams have had a lot of trade history already just this year since July. And as we go through the broadcast, we'll start pointing out who played for who. But a lot of former Celtics are on the Cavaliers and vice versa, as Pierce can't get it to go. And here's Boozer again with James going the other way. Cleveland is on a 7-0 run.
Well, and I think one of the key Celtic changes is Eric Williams. When you have Eric Williams on Cleveland's team now, the intangibles that he had. We can talk about McGinnis, we can talk about James Boozer, but in the same time, Eric Williams is a guy who's brought that pepper to the meat that you have here. Gives it the taste a little bit here.
Well, and one of the things that John Carroll talked about before the game was, Williams is a guy in the locker room who will go to a teammate and tell him what he has to do. So it takes a lot of pressure off the coach, and it's so great to have a guy who's in the locker room taking care of some of those responsibilities, and that has only helped Cleveland since his arrival.
Mike James just picked up his first foul. Rebound by Chris Mim out of Texas. Ahead it goes. Blount going by James and finding it at the other end. And Blount now has all 6 Boston points.
You gotta love the pace. This is fun. I mean, both teams running up and down the floor, and of course Boston really trying to make a concerted effort under Danny Ainge to be more of a running team, try to open things up a little bit.
And here comes James, picked up by Welsh, and inside Carlos Boozer, wipe it away. It's a charge. His first foul.
Well, it may be a charge. Paul's upset about it, but he's got to be happy with the fact that Boozer's going to the basket with authority. He gives him that inside tangibility, and that's a questionable call too.
I think what they called was he used that off arm a little bit at the rim. Questionable, but I guess there was enough there to make the call.
Here comes Welsh, who was in that Antoine Walker trade, and he sails in. They've got high hopes for him.
They do. He's wearing Danny Ainge's old number 44. And he's an excellent shooter. He's one of the top 3-point shooters in the league, and a guy who can really stroke it and just finding his way. This is only his 2nd year in the league. First time he's had a chance at some real playing time.
And LeBron James, and picked up by Mike James, no relation, and Mike James is hit by Ilgauskas as he takes it in. Mike James is out of Duquesne and spent the last 2 years with the Miami Heat, but as a backup point guard here in Boston, he is the starting point guard for the Celtics.
Well, and I think the problem when Mike stopped to look back, he probably should have just gone on into the basket, taken a sharper angle, and he would have been able to put it up. John Carroll is from Duquesne also, I might add.
Yeah, yes, he is.
One of the places where he comes.
Little connection there. Looked like Ilgauskas made a nice play to prevent the layup, but didn't look like he hammered it by any means. I think James is upset with himself. He probably could have finished it. It was just a little slap on the wrist, but it was effective enough for Ilgauskas.
So we've seen a couple runs. The Cavaliers had one earlier, and now Boston is on a 6-0 run. 2 teams very close in the Eastern Conference playoff race for that 8th and final slot, and a winning record is not needed to be in the race, as we have seen. And a foul called on Chris Mim. You can see just how close it is between 11th place Cleveland and 8th place Boston.
And it seems to be that these 2 teams are headed in opposite directions too. Boston has really struggled the last couple of weeks. Everybody knows about the trades, and they've sort of lost momentum. The fans are not going to the Garden anymore, or to the Fleet Center, excuse me. Attendance is sagging. Meanwhile, Cleveland, everything is looking up. You've got these great young players, and Boozer and LeBron James, and fans are coming back to this arena, so it wouldn't surprise me at all to see Cleveland overtake Boston.
Yeah, attendance is up 54% here.
Well, and Paul Silas put a lot of importance on this ball game too when we were talking to him. He indicated that he thought this game was extremely important to his team in terms of the pennant, I said, in terms of the playoff
baseball
race.
That's right. Paul Pierce now 1 of 3. Celtics are 5 of 9 to start. Cavaliers are 4 of 7 so far from the field.
Talked about baseball because the old Cleveland Indians used to be my favorite team with Larry Doby.
And here comes James off to Paul Pierce. 1 of 3 to start. He is the only player in the NBA to lead his team in points, rebounding, assists, and steals. Welsh, nice feed inside to Blount, and picked up by LeBron James. That is the 2nd Boston turnover. And here comes James. 3 turnovers so far for the Cavaliers. James, point-blank range, can't hit. Cleaned up by Boozer. John, he is a 2nd-round pick, and he is playing as well as any forward right now in the Eastern Conference.
Well, he's a difference maker, and you know, the thing that's so important is that he's improving. He's going to the basket with authority. He gives that ingredient that this team really needs. You've got McGinnis, you've got James out there, but now he gives an inside physical presence to this team offensively.
And he's got such great hands around the basket. You just saw that finish with the left hand. there aren't a lot of young players in this league who can use both hands around the hoop. I think some of that has to do with maybe some college experience under Mike Krzyzewski, and it's great to see a young guy who's so polished already.
Second foul tagged on Boozer.
You know, the thing about a guy like Steve Kerr likes Boozer is because they run no plays for him.
Yes.
He gets the garbage while the Steve Kerrs of the world get the screen and can shoot the jumpers.
And John, can you think of a better coach for a guy like Carlos Boozer than his coach, Paul Silas, who's playing basically the same kind of position his coach played many years ago? Pierce with a nice fadeaway to knock it in.
And Paul played that role, Steve, also. He played the same role. No plays were run for him, the weak side rebounder, guy that just pounded the boards.
And when Boozer was told recently that Silas had complimented his rebounding, he said that means a lot coming from the 16th all-time rebounder in NBA history, which shows you Boozer's got some idea of NBA history. You gotta like that.
So again, both teams shooting over 50%. Cavaliers are at just above 50%. Celtics at 54.5. Rebounding in the game, +2 for Boston, and now +1. Here comes McGinnis off to LeBron James. He is the 13th leading scorer right now, is James, in the NBA. 3-second defensive violation.
The great thing for James in having McGinnis on the team is the fact that he has an opportunity to not to worry about other people. He can now create for himself as opposed to be concerned about setting up people.
You were drinking country water, trying to blow my head. Rubber dealing woman, stop and lay my money down. Well, if you don't stop it, babe, you find yourself sleeping in the ground.
If only the world were as race-inspired. The 6-speed, 200-horsepower Acura RSX Type S.
I'm Jesse James. A car's not just a way to get from point A to point B, it is the point. That's where the pros at AutoZone can help. They've got the stuff you need to make your car as cool as you want.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Observe the panicked look of the last-minute shopper. Fortunately, Helzberg Diamonds' value promise ensures the perfect gift at the perfect price. Panic button off. Helzberg Diamonds. Confidence comes in a burgundy box.
So this is T Mac, and I would like to go one-on-one with Ahmad Rashad.
You looking for something different?
Just ask me something and see what happens.
Then go one-on-one with me.
Get ready to go one-on-one with my man Ahmad Rashad.
Not enough finger rolling. Remember the butter on the roll?
Bob Cousy, man, had one hand. He just put the ball behind his back and catch it with a hand.
It's after hours.
Sunday night at 11, only on NBA TV.
The 2004 NBA All-Star Game, exclusively on TNT.
Tonight, the NBA on TNT is brought to you by Verizon Wireless. Sign up for America's Choice Family Share Plan. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you. And by Heineken. It's all about the beer. Heineken. By eBay. Why stop anywhere when you can shop everywhere? Do it eBay. And by Chili's. Want more flavor in your life? Come to Chili's. So far, LeBron James has put on a wonderful show to get things started off here in Cleveland tonight against the Celtics.
Well, you just see his athleticism getting into the lane with the penetration, and look at the speed blowing by the entire Celtics defense. And from our angle over here, he looked like he was about 4 feet above the rim on that play. It was just stunning.
Carmelo Anthony is playing tonight against Memphis. Dwayne Wade has been injured, back now for the Heat. We're going to see Chris Bosh tomorrow night on TNT. There was a defensive 3-second violation, and so that's why LeBron James is at the free throw line and hits it. He's now got 6. And the leading scorers for both teams are the centers. Ilgauskas has 8 for Cleveland and 6 for Mark Blount of the Boston Celtics.
Well, the interesting thing about the Celtics is you notice how much Paul Pierce is handling the ball to get his own shots. He almost needs a point guard to set him up and give it to him at the last minute, because he's utilizing a lot of energy trying to set himself up now, as opposed to McGinnis being able to set James up.
And this is Ilgauskas, and Paul Silas and this team have recognized what he has done of late. His game has really taken off the last couple weeks.
Well, he's always been an excellent offensive player. I think Paul Silas has been imploring him to play better defense.
Buckle up for LeBron James.
Oh my goodness. How old is he? 12?
He just turned 19 on the 30th of December, the same birthday as Tiger Woods.
Similar prodigy, isn't he?
Yes, absolutely. Celtics have not made a change. Sagana Diop is in the game for the Cavaliers. There's Blount. He's out of Pittsburgh in his 4th NBA season, and he is having a career year. Cleveland is on a 7-0 run right now. The Cavaliers have led by as many as 6, which is their lead right now. Celtics have led by 2. This is Diop. Welsh gets it. He's from Czechoslovakia, and here comes Paul Pierce. Walter McCarty is in the game.
Celtics have to establish some inside play right now. That'll also open it up for Pierce in his outside shooting.
Well, that's a big problem for the Celtics. They really don't have a post-up player, and that's one of the reasons Paul Pierce has to take on so much of the load.
No post-up player, not really being set up from point guard position. He's taking the ball, and that attracts the defense immediately.
7 lead changes so far, 4 ties. And Jeff McGinnis, who has jumped around this league and was acquired in a trade with Portland for Darius Miles a couple weeks ago. 2nd foul called on Yuri Welsh, and the boos you hear are for the former Cavalier player Ricky Davis, who once he was traded took some shots at the city of Cleveland and the Cavaliers organization.
Oh, so they're not saying boozer? That's not what they're saying.
No. Expressing a little affection for Ricky Davis.
And for more on that, let's go to Craig Sager.
Kevin, there may be some boos, but there are some cheers over here, because today Ricky Davis apologized to the fans of Cleveland, and tonight he reunited with his fan club, Ricky's Renegades, who have always been very supportive of Ricky. Do you think maybe a lot of people misunderstand him?
Yeah, I mean, he has that kind of temper where you just, I mean, sometimes you won't understand him, but I mean, at heart, I mean, he didn't really mean anything bad by it, but I'm glad he apologizes, and I mean, he regrets saying it. It's just, he's a good man at heart.
You guys used to buy tickets, sit way up at top. He saw you, decided to buy you tickets down here. Even though he's gone, does he still buy you tickets?
Yeah, actually, he bought them for the whole season. So once, like, right when he left, we didn't know what to do. So the Cavs actually, they duplicated tickets, and then he just gave them back, and now we have them for every game. So
well, even though you're topless after the Janet Jackson incident, I'm glad you had the decency to put some black tape and some black paint across your breast. Congratulations.
Craig, I'm glad you noticed that. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. We appreciate that. Boston has missed their last 5 shots, and the Cavaliers are on an 11-0 run. Eric Williams, a former Celtic, is in the game for Cleveland, as is Ira Newbill, a spinner by McGinnis. And here comes Pierce out there with a couple of new players himself, including Marcus Banks. And there's Ricky Davis. He keeps it alive. Blount, McCarty, and another turnover for the Boston Celtics. They now have 4.
And they're just standing around a lot. And again, as I indicated earlier, Pierce doesn't have anybody set him up. He's coming down and initiating the offense, which draws all the attention.
Ilgauskas with a block shot. He's been averaging 4 blocks and a nice pass. James to Newbill, who goes crashing into photographer's row. And here's a Ricky Davis 2-point shot. Ilgauskas wants to slow it down. The pace of this game is electrifying here in Cleveland tonight.
I think both coaches want to slow this thing down. Did you see that shot off the glass by Davis? I think almost shattered the backboard.
Here's LeBron James, 3 of 7, retrieved by a hustling Eric Williams. And it's Ira Newbill, and back to the point guard, Jeff McGinnis.
Well, I think McGinnis definitely has a tremendous effect on his team. You see him working plays for the inside people. He's setting up outside people. And again, it takes a lot of pressure off of young LeBron James. Now he can think more offense than he has been.
James with the move and tries to go across. Ilgauskas with a couple of tips. It never hit the rim. It's a 24-second shot clock violation. 5 turnovers. Cleveland famous for a lot of things, including the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and that's what we're doing inside Gund Arena. A lot of rock and roll with these two Eastern Conference teams on TNT.
Drama of NASCAR is on TNT. The new season revs up live from Daytona International Speedway on Thursday. Don't miss the Gatorade 125s on TNT at 1. Then on Sunday, watch the Daytona 500 on NBC at noon. The race for the championship is on TNT and NBC.
Who took my Heineken?
Now watching the clock is out. Verizon Wireless introduces IN, free in-network calling. Now when you join IN, you can call to any Verizon Wireless customer anytime, virtually anywhere, absolutely free from our national in-network coverage area. No minutes to manage, no clocks to watch. The rules you're used to are out.
Hey, we're not doing that anymore.
Are you in? Good. Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
Thanks, Roger.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Oh, goodness. You certainly did a nice job. Oh, my.
Even as a kid, I believed in giving people more for their money. I'm Roger Riney. I started Scottrade to take care of online investors like nobody else. With $7 trades, no inactivity fees, and offices nationwide. Click, call, or stop by Scottrade today.
Feel like you're stuck with dial-up internet? Free yourself. Get DirectWay. DirectWay is high-speed internet by satellite, and it's available wherever you live, anywhere in the continental U.S. All you need is a clear view of the southern sky. DirectWay is fast, secure, works on PC and Mac. And did I mention available at your house? It's a no-brainer. To find out more about DirectWay, flip to channel 227 and get the high-speed internet freedom you deserve. Channel 227. The choice is yours.
Either they don't know, don't show, or don't care about what's going on in the hood.
Lawrence Fishburne, Cuba Gooding Jr., and Ice Cube, Boys in the Hood. Wednesday night at 9, one of the new classics only on TNT.
Folks, a reminder, the second game of our TNT doubleheader puts Tim Duncan against Yao Ming. It's the Spurs at the Rockets next on TNT with John Thompson, Steve Kerr, and Craig Sager. Kevin Harlan. We have seen not a single three-point shot hit so far in this game, and both these teams love to launch. The Cavaliers have led by as many as 10. They are shooting 43% from the field, and the Boston Celtics are shooting 31%. And Steve, you've been noticing the pace of this game, something that Danny Ainge would like to continue to instill in his offense.
It's one of the things he's talked about since he took this job. He really wants Boston to play like the Celtics of old and use an up-tempo style, especially since they don't have a dominant post player. He wants them to run and get easy opportunities in order to create some offense.
Well, and I think in order to be able to play at the pace that Danny would like to play, they've got to sort of firm up that point guard position too, because they really don't have that Magic Johnson kind of guy out front who can run the offense, and they don't have any depth in the position out there. So Danny's pushing the issue, which he might be right, but he's going to suffer a lot in the meantime in doing it.
And here comes Walter McCarty for 3, coming off a game where he had 16 points, including 4 threes against the Philadelphia 76ers in a Boston Saturday night win over the Philadelphia 76ers in Philly. Here's James. Cavaliers had played some very good basketball, but they lost 3 consecutive games, a tough 5-game and 7-night stretch. Cavaliers have a foul to give with 16 seconds to play in the first quarter. Boston has missed their last 9 shots from the field.
Well, because they're not getting great shots, Kevin. You're coming down in transition, you're getting outside shots. You don't have that inside presence to get you the cheap baskets to get you on track with the Boston team. And again, I don't feel, in looking at it, Steve, that they have the point guard that can penetrate, pull the defense, get the ball out to Paul Pierce, or even penetrate and dish to one of the big guys and get them unmolested layups.
Nor do they have the big men and the depth that's required to play a low post style. So you're right, they have a lot of work ahead of them.
Here's Paul Pierce, who is 2 of 6 so far with 4 points, trying to beat the buzzer, crashing into Ilgauskas, who picks up the foul. And Boston goes the final 6:10 of the first quarter without a field goal. That is the second on Ilgauskas. And remember, Carlos Boozer is already on the Cleveland bench, and he's got 2 fouls.
He's got 2, and I think the officials are going to now look at the replay to see whether the foul actually occurred before or after the buzzer. Obviously, if it was after, then no free throws for Pierce and no foul for Ilgauskas. It looked to me like it was before the buzzer, though.
Our crew tonight: Jack Neese, Michael Smith, and Ed Malloy. That's Ed Malloy, number 73 right there, a former high school basketball player of the year in Philadelphia. And now in the NBA refereeing.
I remember the days when it didn't matter whether they looked at the machine or not. They made the call.
Yeah.
They were always right.
Yes.
They're still always right.
Yeah.
Let's watch the... Oh, I think it's going to be him at the free throw.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yep.
I actually like the way the NBA has handled the replay situation, though. They limit it to end of quarter situations, and they don't have anything that's subjective. It's either they got the shot off or not. They do it pretty quickly. They don't have to have the NFL guy looking into the phone booth for 3 minutes while the fans all go get popcorn. And so they've done a good job instituting.
And you want to be accurate. That's the most significant thing, is accuracy, in particular crucial points of the game. Only thing that bothers me, I wish a lot of games I coached when I was in college, we could go back and still have instant replay on a lot of calls.
There might be a couple you're glad they didn't have instant replay too, though.
I never saw those, Steve.
You don't remember those as a coach, do you?
Paul Pierce, an 84% free throw shooter, just missed 2. But Zydrunas Ilgauskas with a 10-point, 5-rebound first quarter. The Celtics last led 14-13, then Cleveland closes out the quarter on an 11-0 run. LeBron James looking good too. He had 8, and the Cavs on top by 10 at the end of 1.
It's official. Larry Fitzgerald is going pro. The Heisman Trophy runner-up is leaving the University of Pittsburgh after only 2 seasons. Last week, the NFL approved the receiver's early entry into the draft. And a judge ruled the Big East Conference has no grounds to sue the Atlantic Coast Conference in Connecticut for the defection of football powers Miami and Boston College. I'm Matt Morrison. This sports update has been brought to you by Heineken.
What a wicked game, sweetie. To make me feel this way. What a wicked thing to do. To let me dream of you. What a wicked thing to say.
I love you.
You never felt this way. What a wicked thing to do.
Get in the zone. I'm Jesse James. The way I see it, a car is not just a way to get from point A to point B. It is the point. That's where the pros at AutoZone can help. They've got the stuff you need to keep your car running right and make it as cool as you want. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
I'm hungry!
Watch this.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back.
Chili's baby back ribs.
You guys want to? Let's go. Come on. We should go. Come on.
Chili's baby back ribs. Barbecue sauce.
Cracked cranium, $10 copay.
Aye, aye. Aye, aye. Aye, aye. Aye,
Bruised cornea, $10 copay.
Okay.
Dislocated jaw, fractured wrist, mild concussion, $10 copay. No hurt feelings.
I'm poisoned.
Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Accepted by optometrists, neurologists, and orthopedists.
NBA All-Star 2004 is coming to TNT.
Live from LA.
This weekend, the NBA's young guns square off in the Got Milk Rookie Challenge. On Saturday, it's a head-to-head competition of skill, accuracy, and flight. It's NBA All-Star Saturday night presented by America Online. And on Sunday, the NBA's brightest stars on LA's biggest stage at the 2004 NBA All-Star Game. Don't miss NBA All-Star 2004 exclusively on TNT.
Welcome back to Cleveland, Ohio, everyone. You're watching the NBA on TNT, the exclusive home of the 2004 NBA All-Star Game in Los Angeles this weekend with Steve Kerr and John Thompson and Craig Sager. This is Kevin Harlan. The Celtics missed their last 9 shots to end the first quarter. The Cavaliers missed their last 5, and we begin the second quarter with Marcus Banks bringing it up out there with Walter McCarty, Paul Pierce, Chris Mim, and former Cavalier, now Celtic, Ricky Davis. Here's Chris Mim from Austin, Texas. Rebound by McGinnis with Job, James, Ira Newbill flying off the wing, and Eric Williams. That sets the lineups to begin the second quarter.
Well, just taking a look at the stats after the first quarter, Kevin, 18-10 rebounding advantage for Cleveland. Boston with 5 turnovers. They're 6 for 20 from the floor. The lack of a post presence is just killing them in all those categories.
It's Mim on top to Marcus Banks, who is a rookie from UNLV. And here comes McGinnis from North Carolina. And through to the trailing Chris Mim. An interception and a turnover. Boston has missed their last 11 in a travel. That's the second traveling violation called on Ricky Davis so far in the game.
Well, and it falls right into the hands of the crowd. Ricky took a first shot, and he shot a brick up and hit the backboard, and now he travels. And I'm certain it has nothing to do with the crowd, but really they are putting pressure on him, and Boston just really doesn't have a lot of movement right now.
Ira Newbill inside, a lot of traffic, a tap up by Eric Williams. The Boston Celtics are the only team in the NBA with a better road record than home record. That's knocked away by Job. Here comes James by McCarty into Pierce, dishing to McGinnis and to Job, who can't slam it down.
I was just about to say how much Job had improved because you saw the shot block at the other end, but he's obviously still pretty raw offensively.
Davis with the miss. Cavaliers have lost 3 straight coming in. Boston has lost 6 of 7.
Boston really needs someone to do for them what McGinnis is doing for Cleveland. He's absorbing the pressure of running the offense. And see, this becomes the problem with Paul Pierce, that he's got to create now for himself, being the outstanding player. He doesn't have anybody to distract from him. When you look at this, I mean, he's coming down the floor. The defense is there. He's trying to cross over, go to the defense comes. Nobody's in the picture rolling to the basket for him to throw it off, or nobody's taking the pressure off. Too much, Steve. I think he's got to handle the basketball. They don't have another guy out there to take attention away from Paul Pierce.
Yeah, I agree. And of course, Antoine Walker was the one a year ago who would take a lot of that pressure off. He handled the ball so often. He would allow Paul Pierce to run off screens and work away from the ball to get open. Now he's trying to do everything with the ball. As a result, his turnovers are way up and his shooting percentage is down. And I'm not saying that to disparage his game, because I think he's a wonderful player. He's just being asked to do too much.
Well, he's a great player, but as you indicate, it's a team game. And I think Boston is going through a transitional period where after the trades and the adjustments that Danny has made, it's going to take some time, because I'm not that impressed with their fast break either.
Kevin Ollie is in the game for the first time for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Those Boston points, by the way, the first in over 8 minutes. Kevin Ollie knocks it in. Every place he has been, he's always been a fine contributor for whatever team he's played with.
He sure has. I'm happy to see him finally find a home. He actually got a really good contract over the offseason, and he should be in Cleveland for a while.
And that has as much to do with attitude as it does ability when you're playing the role that Ollie is playing for a team.
Hold on for LeBron James, and Ollie's pass a little bit off center.
See how high he was at.
Wow. God. Here comes Paul Pierce. He's got 6 as he takes it inside. And a Cleveland foul. Boston has 15 consecutive misses as Eric Williams picks up the foul. 15 straight misses. That means the Celtics are shooting 23% to Cleveland's 36% for the game.
And that will ignite the fast break for the other team. You said the Celtics want to run. You miss 15 baskets. You run on stolen balls and miss shots.
Chris Mim checks out. Mark Blunt back in the game. And now DeJuan Wagner comes in for the Cavaliers. He'll take the place of Eric Williams out of Providence, who has been such a fine locker room presence for this young Cleveland team. And Carlos Boozer, a second-round pick out of Duke a season ago, is back in the game, taking the place of Sagana Diop. Tony Battie is on the injured list with an ankle injury, and he probably won't come back until after the All-Star break.
You talked about Eric Williams, Kevin. He just gives me the impression that he can communicate with his teammates verbally and non-verbally, yes, if necessary.
You had that ability as a coach, I think, didn't you?
Sometimes you just have to show a little affection.
Yeah, that's right. LeBron James is 3 of 8, has 8 points. And missing right there, the Cavaliers are +8 in rebounding as Davis drives on Newbill in a foul. Cleveland is led by as many as 12, and the Celtics have led by as many as 2 as Newbill picks up his second foul. We'll take a timeout in Cleveland.
Coming to TNT, when you go after the mob, once you're in, there's no way out. Chris Noth, Mercedes Rule, Bad Apple. Don't miss the world premiere next Monday night at 9, only on TNT.
I'm in. In?
Who's in? We're in.
Verizon Wireless introduces In. Free in-network calling.
I'm in. I'm in.
He's in.
He's in.
You're in.
I'm in.
You're in.
She's in.
Join in and call to any Verizon Wireless customer anytime, anywhere, absolutely free from our national in-network coverage area.
We're in.
With a network of 36 million people, that's a lot of free calling. We're in. Are you in?
You better believe I'm in.
Good. Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
My name is Sergeant James Master Domenico, and this is Camp Butter, Florida.
All right, Rangers, listen up. I'm going to give you the general concept for tonight's operation.
Tonight is my last mission at Ranger School. The last 90 days have been the hardest, the most brutal days of my entire life. The crazy thing is, I actually chose to do this. And there's no guarantee that I'll even pass.
Welcome to Ranger School. See if James makes the grade, only at GoArmy.com.
That was NASCAR driver Jeff Burton, and here he is last Saturday in the number 99 Roush Racing Ford, which will be sponsored by TNT this weekend for the Daytona 500 and the Twin 125s. And with me, Jeff Burton. Now, it's quite a thrill for racing fans to walk around pit road before a game. Tonight, you're walking around courtside. What were your impressions, particularly of LeBron James?
Well, I'm a huge basketball fan, first of all, and then have a guy come out of, just come out of high school to, be playing as well as he is and conducts himself really well, too. I was really impressed.
He lets you take a couple of shots. What happened?
He's a great rebounder, okay? That's another asset that he has. Not every play has to be dynamic. If I'm playing, you got to be able to rebound.
Well, that could have been an assist you gave him.
There you go, an assist. I got an assist, and he got a rebound. We both won.
You are NASCAR's Rookie of the Year in '94. Have you ever seen a rookie in any sport come in with a fanfare that LeBron did, and also the way he's lived up to it?
Well, it's pretty interesting that he came in and he plays as much as he plays. You know, a lot of times you get a rookie, he comes in and they don't give him a lot of playing time, but he's a huge part of their game, obviously, and pretty good at that stuff. So it's just fun to watch. You know, him and Carmelo Anthony also, they're just fun to watch. They bring a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, and they have the talent coming right in. They can make a huge impact on the game right off the start.
Two of the great sporting events are this weekend, the Daytona 500 and All-Star Weekend. You've managed to combine both of them. Tell us a little bit about the race this weekend.
Well, we're real excited about it. We run Thursday to figure out where we're going to start for the Daytona 500. And, you know, for me personally, to be involved with the NBA All-Star Game and the Daytona 500, that's a pretty cool weekend. The only bad thing is I can't go to the NBA game because we race on that Sunday. But Sunday night after the Daytona 500, the NBA All-Star Game on TNT, that's a lot of fun. I'm a big basketball fan. I like sports. I like basketball. I think basketball players are the best athletes in the world, and especially in that game. That's the very best of the world. That's a pretty cool event.
We saw you in the studio last week. Congratulations on your Duke Blue Devils beating North Carolina in overtime. Obviously, Carlos Boozer is here. Are you surprised the way he's playing after being drafted so late, 35th, second-round pick by Cleveland?
Carlos was a really good ball player at Duke. It seemed like a lot of people thought he shouldn't have come out as early as he came out, but you know, the last 15, 20, last 10 games in particular, he's really played. He's a big guy. I mean, he's not, he's not just huge like this, but everything on him is muscle, and he's an inside presence. He's a really good ball player.
Jeff Burton knows his basketball as well as NASCAR. You mentioned last 10 games, Kevin, and during those last 10 games, I think Mr. Boozer's averaged 22 points and 15 rebounds.
That's pretty good, isn't it? That's all-star game material right there if we can put that together for a year.
All right, thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
Nice job, Craig. Thank you so much. We're watching Mr. Burton in the Daytona 500 this weekend. Paul Pierce's side. No one for Boston is in double figures until right now. Pierce has 10. The Celtics break a field goal drought of 10 minutes and 16 seconds, with almost a full quarter with nothing hitting from the field. DeJuan Wagner finding 2 for the Cavaliers.
Kevin, I was thinking maybe Jeff and Craig Sager could just do the whole second quarter. Do we have to be here? They could keep going a little longer.
Yeah, what do you think, John? Pierce again inside.
Well, the only thing I got upset with them, they didn't mention my boy Brendan Gaughan, who played for me, who's driving in NASCAR now.
That's
out
right.
of Las Vegas.
That's right. That's right.
You have a former player who's now a NASCAR driver?
That's exactly right.
That's unbelievable.
How's he fit in the car?
we looked at everything from a broad perspective. Diversify, fellas. Get in everything.
DeJuan Wagner, who's the son of Milt Wagner. He played a year at Memphis and then went to the NBA last year. First-round pick. Had injuries early and late and has missed almost a year and a half of play, but now trying to get his legs and his conditioning back, and a nice rebound right there. Here come the Cavaliers, who have led by as many as 12. They're shooting 41%. Wagner again knocks in a 3.
And that's his role. Come in, play about 10, 12 minutes, get 7 or 8 shots up. Instant offense.
That is the second three-point hit for the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight. Boston hasn't hit any. DeJuan Wagner off the bench. 3 minutes, 8 points, and 3 of 3 from the floor.
I'm a man. What is it about a man and his truck? Does a steel frame that's stronger than ever before remind you of his strength? Do the quietest cab in class and a distinctive new design make you see him any differently? Stronger, sleeker, badder than ever before. The only truck that's earned the right to be the 2004 Motor Trend Truck of the Year, the next F-150. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
At some point in their lives, many women experience a decrease in libido due to stress, childbirth, menopause, or medications. Today, women of all ages are discovering Avlamil, the gentle, non-prescription once-daily supplement made just for women. The ingredients in Avlamil have been shown to enhance libido, maintain hormonal balance, and promote a healthier, more energetic love life. Now, you can receive a free 30-day sample cycle. Free samples are only available for a short time, so call or go online today.
You know, it was something that I couldn't talk about.
But with work and stress and hormones, I had no energy, and my sex drive was gone completely. Introducing Avlamel, the non-prescription once-daily supplement made just for women. Then I began taking Avlamel, and it all started to come back. I feel better now. I feel like I'm back to being me again. Now you can receive a free 30-day sample cycle. Just call or go online today.
The NBA on TNT is brought to you by Sprite. Obey your thirst, Sprite. And by Adidas Basketball. Forever Sport. With John Thompson, Steve Kerr, and Craig Sager, Kevin Harlan. The bench points favoring Cleveland 14-2 because the play of DeJuan Wagner, John, for the Cavs.
When Wagner came down in transition, if you looked at the shot that he took, there's no Celtic jersey there. I think Celtics right now have to get themselves emotionally back in it, Kevin. They seem a little bit down. They've got to get themselves charged up a little bit. John Carroll is a hell of a coach. He came in under a very tough situation with the head coach leaving, and the players are under a tough situation and having to adjust to his coming in. So I just don't see the flow of excitement that I've seen, Steve.
Yeah, I agree, and they're trying to play a certain style without the personnel to really accomplish it. You want to be an up-tempo team, you better be able to defend and rebound. And they don't have that type of presence, obviously, down low. And then when you start turning the ball over and you're an up-tempo team, you're going to give up a lot of easy hoops.
All the focus is on Paul Pierce now. All the focus.
He leads the Celtics and the game with 12 points right now. Cavaliers have 2 with 10. Ilgauskas and LeBron James. Kedrick Brown is in the game, guarding Pierce. A 3 by Paul. A rebound by Newbill. And here come the Cleveland Cavaliers, led by Kevin Howard.
Well, and if you wonder why Paul Pierce is shooting 40%, it's because he has to take shots like that one. A fadeaway three-pointer over a bigger defender. That's just too difficult to have to consistently make shots like that.
And that 40% is a career low. Wagner again. That's his first miss, 3 of 4. Ollie gets it.
And the reason you can put a bigger defender on Paul Pierce is that the other guys are not threats. So you can put a guy that maybe doesn't have lateral movement to cover his jumper and get the support from the other teammates in the back. And unless some other Celtic becomes a threat, you can really gravitate your whole defense towards Paul, which is what is happening now.
Celtics are -9 in rebounding. The turnovers are even at 7 apiece. Right there, John, you were talking about it. Banks with a 3, and he nails it. The rookie from Duquesne.
Exactly. The minute Paul gets the ball, all of the white shirts retreat in the direction of the basketball. Somebody in the green shirt has to make them pay for doing that.
There just Banks from Duquesne. He's from UNLV, grew up in Las Vegas, and here he comes the other way. And flies in for 2, known for defense at UNLV. He was the Mountain West Conference Defensive Player of the Year. They're putting on some nice offensive moves here.
He is a defensive stalwart. You can see him putting a lot of pressure on in the backcourt on Ollie and on DeJuan Wagner, doing an excellent job. And then if he can knock down some shots, then all of a sudden he's a complete player.
Timeout.
Let us read from the playbook, the King James playbook, and Basketball Chosen One asked the soul of the game for court vision. And it was granted to him. Can I get a layup? Layup. The Chosen One didn't ask for hops. Coach Reverend, right? He didn't ask for handles. Why did the Chosen One ask for court vision? I'm going to tell you why. Just listen. He wanted glory for the team. I feel the soul of the game coming over me.
What is it about a man and his truck? Does a steel frame that's stronger than ever before remind you of his strength? Do the quietest cab in class and a distinctive new design make you see him any differently? Stronger, sleeker, badder than ever before. The only truck that's earned the right to be the 2004 Motor Trend Truck of the Year, the next F-150. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
We'll have 2 cheeseburgers.
We shut down the grill. You can order from our late night menu.
What's on it?
Nothing I'd eat.
Hungry and it's late? Come to Wendy's pickup window for something fresh and eat great, even late.
Hey, if you're going to Wendy's, bring me back a Frosty.
Introducing Duralast Tools. Professional-grade tools, precision-engineered to take on the toughest jobs. And backed by a serious lifetime guarantee. No questions asked. New Duralast Tools. Only at AutoZone.
Either they don't know, don't show, or don't care about what's going on in the hood.
Lawrence Fishburne, Cuba Gooding Jr., and Ice Cube, Boys in the Hood. Wednesday night at 9, one of the new classics only on TNT.
Don't miss the Sprite Rising Star Slam Dunk, only on TNT.
And tonight, as part of the Sprite NBA celebration, we are at Universal Studios Hollywood, and there is all kind of stuff going on here. They're shooting hoops right down the street, making a few of them. Magic Johnson here, Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith. I'm Ernie Johnson. We'll be here for halftime momentarily. And Kevin, I was thinking about you today because there's an In-N-Out burger right down the street, and I just picture you eating a couple of those things animal style.
Get it animal style, baby. Thank you, Jay. I'll buy this weekend in LA for us. We're back here in Cleveland, where the leading scorer is Paul Pierce with 12. Both teams shooting 40% or below. Cavaliers have led by as many as 14. Celtics have led by as many as 2. Steve Kerr, what is the return of Ricky Davis as a Celtic back to Cleveland, where he played to begin the season?
It's just such a difficult position to be in, Kevin, where you're playing against your former teammates in that town, especially when you've made some bad comments about that city. And he's nervous, there's no question. He's making a lot of mistakes here early on.
John Paul Pierce is the number 5 scorer in the NBA. He's headed to Los Angeles, his hometown, this weekend for the All-Star game.
Well, and deservedly so. Paul is just an excellent basketball player. Now, without the supporting cast, he's got to do a lot more creating himself. And I think that that's a difficult thing to do. The defense collapsed towards it. There are not other threats out there. But, I mean, you're talking about a fine player that's having to work a lot harder now for his pay.
This game has had 7 lead changes and 4 ties so far. The foul goes on Davis, who picks up his first. Boozer at the free throw line. It's the drama of NASCAR. On TNT this Thursday, it's off to Daytona for the Gatorade 125s at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. For complete schedule information, log on to a great website, NASCAR.com.
You know, Kevin, talking about Davis and his return, one of the ways you can get yourself going if you're a little nervous and you're in a hostile environment like this is try to get yourself to the foul line. And he's so athletic, rather than settling for an outside shot, use that athleticism, get to the rim, and create something just to get himself going a little bit.
Look at Pierce manufacture 2 inside.
Well, that was great. That time there was an opening. Usually he's been able to beat his man, but the weak side help has sort of jumped on him and trapped him. But he's such an exceptional athlete that he's doing exactly what Steve is saying. He's going to the basket now. If he doesn't get the basket, he'll get the foul.
Paul Pierce has a game-high 17, 13 of which have come in this second quarter. Ilgauskas looking inside for Boozer, and a 3-second violation on Carlos Boozer. One-time 14-point lead for the Cavaliers is down to 5. That big lead was 38-24 in this second quarter. Now the Celtics on a 10-1 run.
And Boozer's had a hard time getting himself going in this game because of that early foul trouble. Remember, he got an early bucket that looked like it was going to be a 3-point play, but the call went against him, and he hasn't been able to get back into this game since.
Kevin Ollie out of UConn takes it the other way for the Cavaliers and spoon feeds Boozer and set a screen in the process, and picked up by Boozer, who hustles inside for 2.
Well, that's the kind of thing that Paul loves about him. Really is a bad principle. On a missed basket, most of the time you want to get back real fast to stop the counter break by the Celtics. But he attacked the missed basket and was still able to steal the ball and get a layup.
Here comes Paul Pierce out of Kansas. And Ricky Davis dancing and driving and rejected by Eric Williams.
He heard Steve Kerr.
Yes, he did.
He heard Steve Kerr.
As if I know anything about getting to the foul line using athleticism, right?
Forget the athleticism, but you knew how to get to the foul line.
Yeah, a technical foul. I'd run up there.
So here's Ricky Davis. from Davenport, Iowa. The Cavaliers have lost 3 straight games coming in. 11th place in the Eastern Conference, but just 3.5 games out of the playoff race. 6th place in the Central Division coming into tonight.
So we'll see now if Boston can get anybody else going besides Pierce. Paul has personally kept this team in the game in the second quarter, but nobody else has really done much. Maybe those 2 free throws will get Davis going.
Well, and based on how the Celtics have been playing, Cleveland should have a bigger point span in this game right now.
Carlos Boozer. You know, one thing you realize about the Cavaliers, you hear LeBron James this and LeBron James that. This team is a lot more than just LeBron James.
They sure are. They've had 4 or 5 guys post up already for plays. Eric Williams and, of course, LeBron. And as we see Pierce just taking over at the offensive end. But you're right, Kevin. The Cavs have a lot of options. Ilgauskas they can go to. They can bring Wagner off the bench for some instant offense. That's why I like this team. They're not a one-man show by any stretch of the imagination.
And, Steve, they have the intangible people there like a Williams and a Boozer. These are guys that don't command a lot of attention, but give you a lot of support in your offside, set the screens, play the defense, do the defense, and stop it. They're putting the right ingredients. You can't always put the best 5 players out there. You've got to put the best 5 that can play together.
Eric Williams has 3 fouls. Paul Pierce has 20 of Boston's 39 points. Pierce has been spectacular in this second quarter. Eric Williams driving inside on Mim with a Boston foul.
And that's the other ingredient that Eric Williams gives you. He even did that when he was at Providence College. He was very difficult guard inside because of his quickness and his strength on guys that are his size.
Of course, you used to just bring Alonzo over to block the shot if he posted up, but I'm sure he was still pretty effective down there.
He was very effective because of his quickness. The big guys would have trouble moving with him laterally. The small guys, he was a little bit too strong, but every once in a while we would touch him affectionately to slow him down.
2 fouls on Mim. Eric Williams for the Cleveland Cavaliers with his first 2 points. And here's Mim. And Mike James, Paul Pierce. A great second quarter for Pierce. Flies inside, can't get it to go. Pierce has put in 16 points in this second quarter alone. 16 of his game-high 20. LeBron James has 10. Eric Williams on the fly, counted for 2 and a foul.
Well, that's the kind of basket, Steve, that Eric Williams and Boozer gets. Pick balls off of the floor. You know, when the defense stops, they go through. You look at him now. I mean, he's great in that paint area in there. Going in, going over a much bigger guy, and always in pursuit after he misses a basket. You have to touch him after he shoots.
Pierce picks up his first foul. Eric Williams from Newark, New Jersey. And baseball was his specialty in high school, but between his sophomore and junior year in high school, he grew from 6'1", did Eric Williams, to 6'6". That's when he took up basketball. He played the first competitive basketball of his life as a junior in high school. Ricky Davis knocks it down across the lane.
Now he's got a little rhythm going. You know, he gets to the line, gets a couple free throws. Now he can play with the ball a little bit, create a shot, and now we'll see if Boston can get a little more balance to their scoring, because, as we mentioned, Paul Pierce just completely taking over.
Davis picks up his second foul.
Well, and as you indicated, it's tough for Ricky coming back here, particularly after some of the comments that he might have made. He probably didn't use good judgment, but you have the crowd reacting to you. I think you will feel even worse if the crowd cheered for you and you're on an opposing team's court, because that means you're pretty sorry, personally. But when the mascot comes out and mops the floor up with a replica of your jersey and you're not playing well, that puts an awful lot of pressure on you.
It can't feel real good. Didn't Utah get fined last week for doing something with Karl Malone, a skit with the mascot? And so I don't know. We'll see if David Stern cracks down on the Cleveland PR staff.
Both teams are 11 of 13 from the free throw line tonight. Here's Mark Blunt. And he shuffles inside. Ilgauskas is there. So is Boozer, but he's still got it to go. Getting out of the straitjacket inside.
I think Paul Silas is wondering why Blunt was able to rebound his own air ball without a traveling call. And he's letting Ed Malloy have it right now.
No fouls to give either way. James is 4 of 10. Here's Newbill, and Carlos Boozer's got 9 points and 4 rebounds in 14 minutes. Got 2 quick fouls in the first quarter.
The thing I liked about what Paul Silas says is that Boozer didn't get in one ball game and came in the office, initiated a conversation with him. Paul told him what he needed him to do, run the floor, get offside rebounds. I'm not going to run a lot of plays for you. That communication cannot be underestimated, and it doesn't happen enough between player and coach, I don't think.
And rarely do you see a young player understand that so quickly in his career.
Or have Steve have the courage to initiate a conversation with the coach, as opposed to just whispering with teammates and friends.
Ilgauskas just picked up his 3rd foul. Here's Paul Pierce. He's got 22 tonight. In an earlier game this season against the Cavaliers, he had 41 points in December. So he's had some good games. In fact, Boston has won 3 against the Cavaliers this season and trying to sweep the season series for a 3rd consecutive year.
Yeah, Pierce averaging 30 a game against Cleveland, and a smart play there because he knew he had the 2-for-1 situation. Gets the quick shot and the free throw, and now Boston should get the ball back if they can get a defensive rebound.
Here comes James. He's been quiet in this second quarter. Puts in 2 right there. He's now got 13 for the game. That is a Cleveland high.
James being quiet is like the quiet before the storm, though. He's capable of getting points in spurts.
Well, we haven't really talked that much about interim coach John Carroll for the Boston Celtics, but he is in an interim mode. He got his first win as a head coach a couple nights ago in Philadelphia, winning by 30. He has been one of many changes with the team. He was a head coach at Bloomfield College. You can see he got his first win against the 76ers, but he has been a head coach before at Duquesne. He was a 4-year college basketball starter at Dickinson College, which is a small school in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. 7 years as an NBA assistant. We really don't know if he'll be the new coach down the stretch for Boston, but Danny Ainge told us today he'll be considered. There are a lot of guys right now in the radar that Danny Ainge, director of basketball operations for the Celtics, is considering.
Well, I'd love to see him get the opportunity. He's a terrific guy and very popular with his players. But what happens in the NBA is it's all about timing and luck. And if he gets his shot and he has the personnel, I think he could do a great job. But we'll see if that's the case.
Mark Blunt with impunity down the lane, lays it in. And the Cavaliers with LeBron James trying to beat the buzzer and throws up an air ball. And that takes us to halftime. But what a performance put on by All-Star Paul Pierce. He is going to his 3rd straight All-Star game, and a guy who is going back home. He was raised in Los Angeles. That's where he's headed this weekend. The other big star in this game, LeBron James, who is standing by with our Craig Sager.
Well, LeBron, you guys got off to a great start, held them without a field goal for like 10 minutes, but Paul Pierce got the hot hand. What are you guys going to have to do against him defensively?
Well, you know, a guy like that, you can only hope to contain him. You know, you can't stop a player like that, you know, because he take a lot of shots, and plus he make a lot too. But, you know, we shut down everybody else, and we got the lead.
The crowd obviously is on Ricky Davis, your former teammate. What do you notice out there? Is he struggling? You guys trying to start him down?
I mean, I think we're going to try to let Paul get all his points and then just try to contain everybody else. I think that'll be the best way for us to try to win this game.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right,
Kevin.
All right, Craig, thank you. Cleveland's big lead of 14 with 6.5 minutes left. Then Boston outscores them 24-15 to close out the quarter. Paul Pierce's 19 second quarter points the key. We take a break, then take you to Hollywood with Ernie Johnson on TNT.
Love this game because even if you try not to, you have to watch. Yes.
I'm a man. What is it about a man and his truck? Does a steel frame that's stronger than ever before remind you of his strength? Do the quietest cab in class and a distinctive new design make you see him any differently? Stronger, sleeker, badder than ever before. The only truck that's earned the right to be the 2004 Motor Trend Truck of the Year, the next F-150. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
Haynes created the Comfort Soft waistband because we know guys. To get comfortable, they will employ every available resource. They will improvise when necessary. Guys will pass on their comfort-seeking skills to future generations.
Hello, Michael. Hey, Doc. See how the new Haynes Comfort Soft waistband is wrapped in cotton?
and it's tagless.
Wow, this could be our most comfortable underwear ever.
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines for just $39 to $99 each way when you purchase by February 26th.
You are now free to move about the country.
Napa application-engineered brake pads and rotors can stop you 20 feet shorter than ordinary brakes. That's important. Because you can't always count on there being an extra 20 feet of road when you need it. Napa, get the good stuff.
Today we're gonna test a tractor beam from Ratchet and Clank going commando. Oh, nice, dude. Nice job, nice job. No, turn that thing off! No, turn it off! Sweet.
The tractor beam, one of 51 weapons and gadgets not fit for this world. Rated T for teen.
The passage is intense, but if you complete the journey, you will find your destiny among the world's greatest warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
It is time for the Verizon Wireless Halftime Report from Universal Studios Hollywood as we have taken our show on the road in preparation for the All-Star Game, which will be played Sunday at Staples Center, but things get cranking Friday night with the Got Milk Rookie Challenge. That comes your way Friday night on TNT. And we welcome you back to Universal Studios Hollywood for the Verizon Wireless Halftime Report. Ernie Johnson, Hall of Famer Magic Johnson, Charles Barkley, and Kenny the Jet Smith, and just some of our closest friends here to applaud every step of the way. How nice that is. When we talk about the rookie game, everybody's talking about Yao Ming and LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony, James and Anthony playing on the same team, but there are other guys out there who haven't been getting quite the pub, but have had solid rookie seasons. How about Chris Bosh in Toronto?
He's going to be a terrific player when he gains he got to gain probably 20 pounds before he's a force. He's a little light in the cakes right now.
Dwayne Wade in Miami?
He's very athletic.
Dwayne Wade is probably, now that he's moved over to two-guard position because Rafer Alston's playing really well, he is probably one of the most exciting rookies that's under the radar, so to speak.
I mean, if you had to rule out Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James and say, okay, who's the best rookie out there, who would it be?
Oh, it would be Wade without those two, because he's been awesome. He got hurt, and that stopped his play, but he had been having a solid season. And if he comes back healthy again, I think he's back in the lineup now.
Who wins that game?
He's going to be a tremendous player. The rookie's going to win because they have more up and down players. They have more players that can get up and down and also create in the open court.
That's an all-star game. The guards control the game, as Magic knows. He's going to keep it in the hand, and he makes the decision. So that's an all-star game.
But the sophomores still have some guys out there who can play. I mean, obviously Yao Ming, you start there, but you got Amari Stoudemire, who's been kind of banged up, but he's back there and ready to go for the Western Conference.
Amari came back last week. He played really great. I watched him play Saturday night. He had a team record 10 block shots. There go my man Ginobili. But they have no answers for Yao Ming. Let me just tell you something. Everybody talk about LeBron James in Cleveland. This kid right here that just goes to show you a lot of these GMs in this league have no idea what they're doing. But that kid Boozer didn't go to late in the second round, and he's terrific.
Well, a lot of guys out there, we've seen him too. I mean, they think he was a 35th pick. Some guys, Nick Van Exel was a second rounder. There are going to be guys who slip through the cracks a little
I'm going to say this. If you can go back, we did that draft. And I was sitting there watching, and I said it that night. I was like, Carlos Boozer is sitting at home saying, I play at Duke on the #1 team in the nation, average 18 points, and I kill these dudes all year, and then I go in the second round. And I didn't understand it at the time either, because you can't do it at that higher level by accident.
But plus, you're from a winning program, and that's what you want. You want somebody who understands how to win, will do what it takes to win, and he's a gym rat. He's going to get in and improve every single season, and he's done that.
Meantime, the Cleveland Cavaliers have the lead here over the Boston Celtics by 5 at the break, and that's just game 1 of our doubleheader here on TNT, because later on, it'll be the San Antonio Spurs visiting the Houston Rockets in a Midwest Division collision. So we'll get a look at Tim Duncan tonight as the Spurs try to make it 5 in a row. Oh, a lot of Tim Duncan fans here in Los Angeles, huh? Yeah, just the mere mention of the name. We'll be back with more here on the Verizon Wireless Halftime Report. Is that camera a little shaky? How about that? Steve Fiorello cam, our director. What an innovation.
This special edition of the Verizon Wireless Halftime Report from Universal Studios is brought to you by Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
Let the truth be told.
TNT NBA Thursday.
I'm Jesse James. A car is not just a way to get from point A to point B. It is the point. That's where the pros at AutoZone can help. They've got the stuff you need to make your car as cool as you want. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
We'll have 2 cheeseburgers.
We shut down the grill. You can order from our late night menu.
What's on it?
Nothing I'd eat.
Hungry and it's late? Come to Wendy's pickup window for something fresh and eat great, even late.
Hey, if you're going to Wendy's, bring me back a Frosty.
Baby Ruth, the real deal, has crunchy, whole roasted peanuts. The real deal has chewy nougat. The real deal has rich, creamy caramel. Because whether you're the man in the middle, the guy between the pipes, or a great tasting candy bar, being the real deal is about what's on the inside. Baby Ruth from Nestle, the real deal.
You just get such an adrenaline rush when you're playing in front of your home fans. It's hard to describe. You know, the fans were going crazy, and it was like, you know, the talk of the town that whole week. And it's what college basketball is all about. You know, I didn't lose a home game my whole entire senior year.
ESPN Full Court from DirecTV. Order now and watch the story unfold.
Get ESPN Full Court, because in college, every game counts.
This month, DirecTV pay-per-view doubles the savings on 2 great box office hits. 2 movies for only $1.99 each on Channel 183. Catch Keanu Reeves in The Matrix Reloaded.
Hiya, fellas. Do we proceed? Yes, he is still only human.
And an alien invasion.
I quarantine the entire area. Nothing leaves alive.
Evil lurks in Dreamcatcher.
What do you want?
We want double the savings with non-stop action on Channel 183. The $1.99 movie destination.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any retransmission, reproduction, rebroadcast, or other use or dissemination of this telecast, or the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
The Sprite NBA celebration continues here from Universal Studios Hollywood as we get set for the NBA All-Star Game on Sunday at Staples Center. Tomorrow night, the celebration continues. Pistons and Nets, the Raptors and the Suns, and we're coming to you from Magic Johnson Theaters in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
All right.
Free popcorn for everybody.
Don't say that.
Popcorn
believe
shrimp?
you.
Are we going to be inside there tomorrow?
Yeah, inside.
3 of us will be. Somebody will be outside, to be determined.
That's right.
Oh, that's a cool shot right there.
Yeah, that's hot.
I love this game because it's music to my ears.
the clock is out. Verizon Wireless introduces IN, free in-network calling. Now when you join IN, you can call to any Verizon Wireless customer anytime, virtually anywhere, absolutely free from our national in-network coverage area. No minutes to manage, no clocks to watch. The rules you're used to are out.
Hey, we're not doing that anymore.
Are you in? Good. Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
You don't have it? And where will I find it?
When you can't seem to find a baseball that's been signed, that's on eBay. A new toy you can wind, a men's suit that's silk-lined, that's on eBay. Phones that ring, organize a thing, jazz or swing, nice bling-bling, that's on eBay. Buy today and it's on its way. Other users say you will feel okay, that's on eBay.
Women love chocolate for Valentine's Day.
Russell Stover is America's #1 selling Valentine's chocolate for one simple reason: great taste.
Oh, that's really good.
I'm feeling a little guilty for eating it. That's how good.
Every woman loves chocolate, and chocolate loves us.
Flowers, maybe. Chocolate, definitely.
She'll know when she sees the bow that you have great taste. Give Russell Stover with the famous gold bow.
I want some Russell Stovers for my Valentine's gift.
Some people listen to themselves rather than listen to what others say. These people don't come along very often. But when they do, they remind us that there is no can't, won't, or impossible. They remind us that it's okay to believe impossible is nothing.
You out something.
Not long ago, Gary Doyle sat right here and got a range of auto insurance quotes. From a discount place to Allstate. This is a commercial. You could probably guess the outcome. Allstate had the best price for Gary. In fact, nearly 7 out of 10 drivers who switched to Allstate saved an average of $200 a year. Quality auto insurance should be affordable. That's Allstate's stand. Are you in good hands?
One of the stops along the City Walk here at Universal Studios Hollywood, the NASCAR Speedway store. And speaking of NASCAR, of course, we're rooting for Jeff Burton in the number 99 NBA All-Star game on TNT Ford. They're going to run the Daytona 500 on Sunday. More qualifying with the Gatorade 125s on Thursday. You can catch that live on TNT. That's it for the Verizon Wireless Halftime Report. The third quarter coming up.
This all-star edition of the Verizon Wireless Halftime Report has been brought to you by Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
Can you hear me now? Good.
Hanes created the Comfort Soft waistband because we know guys. To get comfortable, they will employ every available resource. They will improvise when necessary. Guys will pass on their comfort-seeking skills to future generations.
Hello, Michael. Hey, Doc. See how the new Hanes Comfort Soft waistband is wrapped in cotton? And it's tagless.
Wow, this could be our most comfortable underwear ever.
Introducing Duralast Tools. Professional-grade tools precision engineered to take on the toughest jobs. And backed by a serious lifetime guarantee. No questions asked. New Duralast Tools. Only at AutoZone.
If a movie about a guy digging a chick makes you feel like a mama's boy.
That was pathetic.
Then there's always 50 First Dates. Rated PG-13. Opens Friday.
You know the feeling. Every guy's had it. You're unbeatable, unstoppable. You got that walking on water feeling. You look, they smile. You win, they go home. It's the feeling you get every day with the world's best shave, Mach 3 Turbo. It's like having an angel by your side. Every move is smooth. Every word is cool. I never want to lose that feeling.
Okay, guys, there's 1,000 reasons why people love this game. Let's give them ours. I love this game because the tattoos really bring out their personality.
I love this game because sometimes it's okay to eat pretzels, nachos, and Cracker Jacks.
Ooh, I love this game because of the fancy spin moves.
I love this game because the arena is so feng shui.
This place is going nuts now.
I love this game even though we're the real dream team.
Here's to the NBA. We love this game.
The 2004 NBA All-Star Game, exclusively on TNT.
Welcome back to chilly Cleveland. This is a special Monday night edition of the NBA on TNT with the Cavaliers, who led by 10 at the end of the first quarter, leading by 5 here at halftime with Steve Kerr and John Thompson, Kevin Harlan. Great to have you with us tonight on TNT, and hope you enjoyed our Hollywood halftime. That was fun. Those guys are having a good time out there, aren't they? John, what has stood out in this first half to you so far?
Well, I think the thing most that stood out in my mind is how hard Paul Pierce now has to work to get his baskets. I felt at the latter part of the second half, the Celtics got more flow, and he was in a better position to go on his own because he's attracting a lot of attention now because he's doing a lot of things for himself.
I was impressed with the way the Celtics bounced back in the second quarter. Now, a lot of it obviously was Paul Pierce just taking over, but they did a much better job of rebounding. Remember, the Cavs are the #1 rebounding team in the NBA, and they just bullied Boston in the first quarter. Second quarter, it was 12-10 rebounding in favor of the Cavs, so the Celtics closed the gap, and they only turned the ball over twice. So they did a much better job of controlling the game a little bit in the second quarter. The problem, as you mentioned, Coach, they're relying so much on Paul Pierce that you get the feeling the only way they're going to win is if Pierce just goes for about 40.
And Pierce has to take an ice bath after the game because he's getting touched by a lot of people.
Let's now take a look at tonight's Dodge game summary. And under 45% shooting by both teams. Free throws basically the same, +10 in rebounding for the Cavaliers. Fast break points basically the same. In the first quarter, Cavaliers led by 10. Ilgauskas had 10 points. Cleveland at halftime here leading by 5. Paul Pierce had 19 in that second quarter. The biggest lead for the Cavaliers so far has been 14 points. Here comes Mike James with Pierce, Mim, Mark Blunt, and Yuri Welsh out there for Boston. Boozer, Ilgauskas, Eric Williams, LeBron James, and Jeff McGinnis, the 5 to start the second half for the Cavaliers. This is Mike James, who nails the first shot uncovered off the baseline.
Beautiful feed by Paul Pierce, and again, Cleveland paying so much attention to Paul that there are going to be some openings there for the other Celtics.
Well, those other Celtics have to capitalize on it, and that's what didn't happen as much in the first half. If they make them pay for the help that's coming towards Paul Pierce will be able to score more easily.
Here comes McGinnis, who came in that Darius Miles trade. When he first got here as the starting point guard, they quickly went 5-1 with him there. Now they're 5-4.
Yeah, he's played well for them, and they have Kevin Ollie coming off the bench in that familiar role for him. He's never been a starter, so it's probably better just to start McGinnis and continue to bring Ollie off the bench.
Chris Mim with a nice move inside.
Well, and you really see the Celtics getting more movement now than they did. They started the game standing around a lot. Paul was trying to attack by himself. But now John Carroll has them moving more, and he feels a lot better about the other guys being able to score.
Out of bounds it goes. Craig Sager, what do you have?
Well, former Cavalier Ricky Davis struggling in that first half, just 1 for 3. I asked him if he felt the pressure being booed so strongly on his former home court, and he said definitely. He said he felt that he became a little passive. As a result of becoming passive, he started to travel a little bit. He also decided the second half he needs to be more aggressive, go to the hoop more, and he also likes shooting at the other end of the court more. That is where his Ricky's Renegades are, so he knows there'll be a few people rooting for him. I said, what about that three-pointer you threw up that Steve Kerr said nearly broke the backboard? He said, well, when Kerr is sitting, maybe he didn't feel the draft. I told somebody at halftime to shut the door.
Thank you, Craig.
It's a good line. Good sense of humor.
Blunt picked up the foul. Look how much this Cleveland team has changed as well. They had Darius Miles and Ricky Davis and LeBron James to begin the season on the Cavs.
Yeah, they've made some moves, and I think for the better. They're a more well-balanced team now.
Mark Blunt. Missed tap in by Mim, picked up by Ilgauskas, who collects his 7th rebound. Williams has 7 as well. And the Celtics led by the 7 rebounds of Mim. That gives you the rebounding leaders in the game. And outside, nice shot nailed in by Eric Williams, who's had a couple knee reconstructions, but is playing well. He's got 7.
And there's the guy who's really made the difference in terms of the personnel changes, because he's added a veteran presence in the locker room and a guy who can really play.
Here's Pierce and Welsh.
Well, and not only has Cleveland made changes, I think that they've made guys that can blend, that can complement one another. You got a guy like Williams and Boozer. These are guys you don't have to really run a lot of plays for. You got McGinnis now who can run the point so that James can be free to score. I do think they need another outside shooter, another guy to score from the outside on this team.
That's a good point, John. Here's Boozer digging inside. He now has 11. James 13. Ilgauskas has 12. All 5 of these starters average double figures in scoring. One of 3 teams in the NBA to have that luxury.
Yeah, they are well balanced, but John, I agree with you. They need a guy who can really shoot the ball from the perimeter, especially when you consider how good LeBron James is with the ball and how much attention he's going to attract, especially as he gets older and gets better. And that's why they really hope DeJuan Wagner can develop into that terrific perimeter shooter that they need.
Paul Pierce has 25. That foul on the last play went on LeBron James. That is his first. Cavaliers are 9 wins ahead of last year's pace. This time last year they had won 10. They've won 19 already. LeBron James has 15 points.
Well, and LeBron James is in a position now with this team that even though he's gotten the attention that he's gotten, I loved what Paul Silas said about his learning curve still being up and his willingness to learn and to blend in with this team.
Well, Pierce now is making it look so easy. 27 points.
Well, I think what makes him so good is the combination of his shooting ability, his ball handling ability, and his strength. He creates his own shot by just driving people off with the dribble and then holding them off with the strength. And then he just puts that feathery jumper up there.
Defensive 3 seconds. Well, we told you that Cleveland is +9 where they were at this time a year ago. Boston is -7. They had 30 wins at this same time a season ago. So the Celtics come into tonight 23-29. And the Cavaliers at 19-35.
To be fair, you know, this is a project that Danny Ainge has undertaken. A year ago, that Boston team, I think, was pretty much peaking and making the most out of their talent. They had more ability, but I think Ainge was right. That was probably about as far as that team was going to go, and he wasn't satisfied with that.
You know, when I talked to Danny extensively today, John, and he says the ownership and he are on the same page and everybody is feeling good within the organization. Not about the record, obviously, but about the pace and the way they're going about putting this team together. They're not obviously, winning right now, but in the future, they expect that to change with some of these maneuverings. And Danny said, don't be surprised if we make another move before the trade deadline, which comes up February 19th.
Well, and that's a very difficult thing because they do have a vision and they also have a tradition, and the expectation level will be very high in the Boston area. Those people are accustomed to people winning. Danny's wants to go at an upward pace. I don't think that this team right now has the components to play in the style that they would like to play. As far as patience is concerned, will you love me tomorrow? You've got to win in this league, and that's the thing that's extremely important.
Well, you hit on a great point there. The Boston Celtics can't afford to rebuild. Some teams can afford to, but the Knicks, the Lakers, the Celtics, they can't afford to do that.
Well, when Danny took over, it was a salary cap mess, and then they got the new ownership, and they have tried to rake out all the issues as they dig it out. And here comes Boston with under 8 to play. It's Paul Pierce, Yuri Welsh, and a foul called on Eric Williams of the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's got 4 fouls.
Well, you talk about the difficulty in the adjustment to Boston. John Carroll is the one who's had to make the major adjustment. We talk about the players making adjustment. Here's a guy that was an assistant coach, had to change his role during the season. Usually after the season, coming into a training camp, you can establish yourself as a head coach. But doing it during the season, one day you're supporting, the next day you're the leader. That's not an easy thing for a guy who's as good as he is as a coach. So he's got a difficult role.
One goes inside after a Pierce feed, another Cleveland foul, and down by 14 points in the first half. The Celtics have chipped away, led by the 27 game high of Paul Pierce. 3 fouls on Boozer, and now the Celtics to within 3 and maybe even closer with some Blunt free throws.
And you can see Boston's now getting some other people involved. Blunt goes to the line. He's got 10 points. We just saw Mike James knock down a jumper. So much attention being paid to Paul Pierce, and the Celtics are doing a good job of exploiting that. On top of that, Eric Williams now has 4 fouls. So Cleveland teetering a little bit. They had an easy lead, a big game going, but it's a 2-point game here.
So Williams has 4, 3 on Boozer, 3 on Ilgauskas. And no one with 3 fouls on the Boston Celtics as of yet. There's a foul, and James will pick it up. That is the second on him. John, can you believe all the coaching changes we have seen since the end of last season? 17 all told, 14 of the 15 in the Eastern Conference, different from last season.
Well, I think they're blaming the wrong people, though, Kevin. They need to make a lot of player changes in some instances, because a lot of these coaches are handicapped by some of the performances of some of these players. But obviously, you're right. It is just amazing the amount of guys that are being turned over.
What a move by James moments ago.
How about that? He shows something new every game. He hasn't shown a lot of post-up ability early in the season, but he just backed his guy down there and shot right over him.
And that's what Paul would like to see him do. He wants to see him become more physical, go to the basket, utilize his strength and his quickness at the same time.
Ira Newbill colliding with Mim inside the lane. And a foul. That's the third on Mim.
And this is the most difficult thing to master, I think, as a young player, is the ability to post up, because in high school, these guys just go around everybody and dunk it. Now all of a sudden, they've got grown men guarding them. They've got to learn how to put a body on the defender, make a couple of moves to get the defender off balance, and still be able to finish. So that's an art, I think, down there on the block that LeBron James will probably improve upon year after year in the NBA.
And I like that little hook shot he shot. Most of the big guys now can't even shoot a hook shot. He used that little slide skip dribble that Magic used to use, kept his legs straddled and just slid the man back, and then he shot that hook shot.
Here's Paul Pierce down the lane into 2, splits him, but lost it, and then gets it back and loses his headband in the process and keeps it alive. Shot clock at 3. Welsh is fouled on the wing. Nope, out of bounds. Stepped out.
That has always amazed me, Kevin, how players who play a long time step out of bounds as much as they do, not under pressure.
I'll watch guys in warm-ups. A lot of them will take three-point shots from the corner and actually step in from out of bounds in practice. It's something that players don't pay enough attention to. You've got to know where you are on the court.
Cleveland is shooting 45%. McGinnis the miss, and McGinnis misses once again. Here come the Celtics shooting 44% from the field. And in rebounding tonight, it is +12 for Cleveland. Nice move. Inside.
Nice move and terrible defense. Steve is exactly right. You know, Cleveland had an opportunity to really distance themselves from the Celtics when the Celtics would find themselves. Now the Celtics are getting in a better rhythm. One thing about a young team like Cleveland, you've got to learn how to crush your opponent out when you have them.
Rejected by Blunt, knocked that out. Blunt, by the way, having a career year for the Celtics.
Well, finally, some of the Celtics, other than Paul Pierce, getting involved. You see the nice drive down the lane and a lack of defense by Cleveland.
Get your hands up! Get your hands up! Go, 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 go! Thank you, Detroit. We love you!
Detroit was last night.
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines for just $39 to $99 each way when you purchase by February 26th.
You are now free to move about the country.
We're gonna get the Caravan.
America's best-selling minivan.
Plus the dual power sliding doors.
Plus the power hatch. Plus the 4 captain's chairs.
Plus the DVD.
Plus the 0% financing.
Or the cash allowance.
Plus the cash allowance.
Not or?
Plus.
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 Plus then.
Announcing Zero Plus, a groundbreaking offer of 0% financing plus a $2,000 cash allowance on Caravan. Plus our 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Hurry, Zero Plus just made the best values in America even better.
Meanwhile, on the 4th floor...
When?
20 minutes ago.
An internet worm.
And a sneaky one, too. Came from the inside.
But the guys from IT said we're safe.
It was caught by the network, automatically. They say we're fine.
How does something like that get in here?
Hey, Daddy, I downloaded a new game on your computer. It's really cool.
Protecting networks and everyone around them. This is the power of the network. Now.
All my life, I dreamed of playing in the NBA.
All I needed was a chance.
All I needed was a chance, and the opportunity came with the NBDL.
Oh, Mike Wilkes.
The NBDL helped me develop into a better basketball coach.
Helped develop me into a better basketball referee.
And prepare me to play at the next level.
Beautiful finisher, Rafer Alston.
All my life, I dreamed of playing in the NBA. And now my dreams came true.
Chris Anderson with the bucket.
The NBDL, the NBA dream starts here.
Tonight, the NBA on TNT is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the NBA, and by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. There have been a lot of changes for the Boston Celtics. Antoine Walker sent to Dallas for Rafe LaFrentz. Eric Williams comes to Cleveland. Tony Battie joining him, and of course Jim O'Brien handing in his resignation in late January. So there have been a lot of changes, as our Craig Singer is with the guy who is orchestrating that for the Celtics, Danny Ainge.
Well, Danny, a lot of changes, as we mentioned. How disappointed are you in the record of 23 and 29 at this point?
I'm disappointed. I think we have had a lot of changes where we get beat on the rebounds every night without Vin Baker and Rafe LaFrentz in there, and that's our biggest weakness right now. And you know, I felt like we would be 3 or 4 games better than this at this stage.
What happened with Coach O'Brien? Everybody had a lot of respect for him. Next thing we know, he resigned, turns down a lot of money to walk away.
Well, I had a lot of respect for Jim O'Brien too, but ultimately Jim just didn't feel like that he and I were the perfect team, that he was the coach that I wanted to go forward with and playing more up-tempo and offensive basketball. And to his credit, he decided to walk away.
You've been taking a lot of heat, not only in Boston, but in our studios. Charles Barkley apologized tonight, but I'm not so sure how sincere it was because he added a footnote. I still say Ainge screwed up the team.
Well, you know what? I expect that, Craig. I expect some heat. I understand it. I love the passionate fans of Boston. And the question, you know, people that don't know my plan, don't know what's going on, you know, you got to give us some time. Obviously, they weren't very happy with a 40-win record and going into, you know, winning in the first round of the playoffs. We want to go a lot farther and have much bigger goals. And we got a major plan, and it's going to take a little bit of time and hopefully not too long.
All right, what is this plan?
Well, we want to play more of an up-tempo game. We want to run. As I found out this summer, a lot of players don't want to come to Phoenix or come to Boston because of the up-tempo or because of the slow-down style of the Eastern Conference and other reasons as well. But we're in the recruiting business and recruiting free agents, and we feel our best chance to get better is to try to create Celtics tradition and run a little bit more than we have been.
Well, if you're in the recruiting business, you're not doing very good tonight because your former broadcast partner, Kevin Harlan, was invited to the shoot-around by you. And look what he did tonight. He brings his son, Robert, his 7th birthday, wearing a LeBron James jersey. Where's the loyalty from your former broadcast partner?
Well, he was in a Paul Pierce jersey this morning getting pictures. So it's typical Kevin. He's playing both sides of the fence.
Happy birthday. All right, Kevin.
All right, Craig, thank you very much. Welsh on a 3-on-1 block over Ilgauskas, hits it, and the Boston Celtics have finally come back to tie after being down by 14 points. It's taken them a long time to get back here, but here they are tied in the late stages of the 3rd quarter.
Well, give them credit. They've played hard. They've really competed since that 1st quarter and done a nice job to get back into this ballgame.
In this game, 27 by Pierce is the game high. 17 by LeBron James leads the Cavaliers.
Well, they're flattened out. That's the thing that Cleveland's got to do. They've got to stay emotionally up. For a young team, you've got to keep the intensity because emotionally they've let Boston back in this game. They had them on the hook. This is what Danny was talking about when he was saying getting out, getting down, and run. But in order to run, you've got to defend. You've got to rebound to get out and to be able to run.
3-point shooting tonight. Cavaliers have hit 2. The Celtics have hit 3 of 7 above the arc. And a shove and a foul on Chris Mihm. He now has 4. Well, you know, Danny has said he wants to model the Celtics after the Sacramento Kings of last season, which led the NBA in defense while having a high-scoring offense, building for, you know, right now, the future, maybe sacrificing a bit, you know, the present.
Well, let's take a look at how Sacramento did that. They drafted Peja Stojakovic with, I think, the 10th or 12th pick, so they made some nice moves in the draft. They traded for Mike Bibby. They traded for Chris Webber. So they've made a lot of great moves, and so it's possible. but you know, it's very, very difficult, Coach. As you know, I mean, you don't just get those guys that easily. Sacramento's done a great job of it.
Well, a lot of teams would like to play the way Sacramento is playing, but you know, it is possible, but it's not probable with the personnel that he has right now. As Steve just said, you have to change personnel. Danny has a lot of pressure on him because of a tradition. Those people in Boston don't want rebuilding years. They're accustomed to winning. They're going to make high expectations. He knows that because he's been a Celtic. And I think that in looking at this team that they have now, you're trying to play one way with personnel that you're not capable of playing that way with now.
Paul Pierce just picked up his second foul. Here comes James with Blount, and McCarty is in the game. Welsh and Pierce. That is the 5 for Boston. McGinnis, Ilgauskas, James, Boozer, and Newbill for Cleveland. Welsh for 3. He is the number 2 3-point shooter in the NBA, and missing badly right there. Here's James launching a 3. And over the backboard and away.
Well, see, and that's where you need that other outside scorer on this team, too. I mean, when you look at the personnel that they have in there now, they have a strong front line, but you don't have a lot of outside shooting. Even LeBron is not that consistent outside. He's more in scoring, penetrating, than just a pure shooter. That one Steve Kerr kind of guy out there would certainly help.
Pierce missing.
They need a lot more than me, I'll tell you that, Coach.
LeBron is 7 of 18 firing tonight. They've got Pierce on him. Defensively, Newbill, and he's quickly doubled. That is a foul, and Pierce will pick up number 3. But Paul Pierce has been terrific. 29 points in the game.
He has completely brought this Celtics team back into the game with some unbelievable offense. The turnaround from the baseline, and you see him curling off the screen for the fadeaway, and then using the screen again for the fadeaway jumper. Paul Pierce on fire here tonight.
I love this game because I don't get judged when I play.
Sunday, Sunday, see Big Eddie haul trees in his fuel-injected Hemi Dodge Ram 1500. Sunday, Sunday, Big Eddie picks up stuff in his 345 horsepower Hemi Dodge Ram. Sunday, Sunday, going fishing in a Hemi-powered Ram.
Morning, Ed.
Monday, Monday.
You gotta stop.
Bud Light presents Lessons from the NBA, introducing a player.
Hey everybody, I'd like to introduce you to the new guy.
From Schaumburg, Illinois, 5'10" 3/4, your paralegal, Larry Silverman! Come on, people! Let's do this!
Thanks, NBA, for leading the way.
You just get such an adrenaline rush when you're playing in front of your home fans. It's hard to describe. You know, the fans were going crazy, and it was like, you know, the talk of the town that whole week. And it's what college basketball is all about. You know, I didn't lose a home game my whole entire senior year.
ESPN Full Court from DirecTV. Order now and watch the story unfold.
Get ESPN Full Court, because in college, every game counts.
This month, DirecTV pay-per-view doubles the savings on 2 great box office hits. 2 movies for only $1.99 each on Channel 183. Catch Keanu Reeves in The Matrix Reloaded.
Hiya, fellas. Do we proceed? Yes, he is still only human.
And an alien invasion.
I've quarantined the entire area. Nothing leaves alive.
Evil lurks in Dreamcatcher.
What do you want?
We want double the savings with non-stop action on Channel 183. The $1.99 movie destination.
Here tonight's Bud Light Around the League headlines. How about the Golden State Warriors last night against the Toronto Raptors? 2 points in the 4th quarter with some pretty good firepower on that Golden State team. And they continue to add names to this weekend's display, like rookie Kyle Korver out of Creighton. He'll be in that 3-point shootout sponsored by Foot Locker. And Lawrence Frank, a one-time team manager for Bobby Knight at Indiana, a guy who was cut 4 times from his high school team, who is 33 years old and taking the place of the fired Byron Scott, is 7-0. And now gaining such notoriety that they're naming hot dogs after him, Lawrence Franks.
Somebody told me once you're not supposed to trust a guy with a first name for a last name, but apparently the Nets are trusting Lawrence Frank. 7-0, what a job he's done.
He's a great kid. We had a chance to do their game a couple weeks ago in Orlando. Positive and well prepared, and a guy to really keep your eye on. I was very impressed while visiting with him a couple weeks ago in Orlando.
Well, the difference in what he inherited and what John Carroll inherited is new players, too. You know, Lawrence Frank, it has done a tremendous job. There's no question you go 7-0 anyway.
Whoa! Can you believe what you just saw?
No, I can't.
That is simply spectacular.
It's sick. That's sick.
And that's the way Cleveland should want to play in here. You want to get this crowd back involved. They lost a lot of their emotional juices in this game.
But here's why the attendance is up here in Cleveland, 54%. They got a great front office with President Len Komorowski, and they've just turned this city completely over now, and it has become a NBA town once again.
But after all that, McCarty's shot is worth 1 point more than LeBron's. Doesn't seem right, does it?
No, it doesn't. Here's Newville for two, and Ira Newville puts it in. He is from Miami of Ohio. He was undrafted. He's played in Cyprus, the IBL, the CBA. He's played with San Antonio and Atlanta. He's been all over the place. He's got 8 points so tonight off the bench. Watch this. And I mean, it's like he's hang gliding. He is in the air so long on a great pass, by the way, by Jeff McGinnis.
Well, and that's what McGinnis is being on this Cleveland team has done for LeBron. He doesn't have to think about setting other people up, balancing the floor. Now he can come out and use his offensive ability and be the recipient of a lot of passes now and use his athleticism.
Yeah, he's so fast and jumps so high that you don't want him bringing the ball up. You want him finishing like that play. And as you said, that's what Jeff McGinnis has added to this team. McGinnis has not shot the ball well for the Cavs, and I'm sure he'll shoot better. He's about a 46% shooter for his career, but he's played pretty well. He's given the Cavs more balance.
Ilgauskas just picked up his 4th foul. Wednesday night on ESPN, Lakers Rockets 9 o'clock Eastern. Thursday night 10 o'clock Eastern, NBA TV, Raptors against the Sonics. And on Sunday, February 22, 1 o'clock Eastern, ABC, it's the Cavaliers and the much improved New York Knicks. They are really playing well.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see that game. The Knicks have a lot of firepower now.
Their roster is almost as good as anybody's in the Eastern Conference. Maybe as good as anybody's in the Eastern Conference.
I don't know if that's saying a whole lot, but it's, you're right, it is.
LeBron James.
I started to say, what does that mean?
Yeah. Here comes Welsh to the other James in this game. And the Celtics have come back in a 5-0 run with 9 coming from James in this third quarter to tie it. It is the game's 7th tie. We've had 7 lead changes. Cavaliers have led by as many as 14 as Kevin Ollie is fouled by Walter McCarty.
Well, and the difference now in the Celtics, you're talking about how they're playing now. They got out and got a couple of fast breaks. Danny indicated when he was talking earlier that he wanted them to run, but you've got to have a defensive presence in the middle. You've got to put pressure on the ball. You've got to get some steals. You've got to get some rebounds. And that's what they have to be able to do. We talk about the Celtics' offensive abilities in the past, but they've always had great defensive teams to get that fast break started, and that's what this team needs to do.
Kevin Ollie. Remember the Eastern Conference final they had a couple years ago with Philadelphia, terrific against Milwaukee.
Yeah, he's played very well, played well with the Pacers. Reggie Miller was a big fan of his because Ollie would just give him space and get the ball to him in the right spots. So nice role player for the Cavs.
No fouls to give either way.
And that's what I think they've done well, Steve. And looking at this Cavalier team, they need a few more pieces, but not only are they getting players, they're getting players that complement one another out here. You get a guy like Ollie, you get a guy McGinnis, Boozer. These are guys that would complement a LeBron James very well, in particular if they get another outside shooting guy.
LeBron just checked out as we wind down this third quarter. Here's McGinnis, difference of 3 seconds, game clock and shot clock. McGinnis launching a 3 out of bounds. It trickles. The Cleveland Cavaliers have not beaten the Boston Celtics since November of 2000. And that is a losing streak for Cleveland of 13 consecutive games against the Celtics. They've led most of tonight. They lead by 2 at the end of 3. 19 from LeBron James, 29 from Boston's Paul Pierce. At the end of 3, the Cavs by 2, 78-76.
Describe the perfect day, Liz.
Well, we're driving to the lake. The kids watch a DVD, and Joe and I have some quality time.
Joe?
Okay, we're barreling along. The Hemi's kicking some serious butt. Then we fish.
Ah, see, you're not traveling in the same vehicle.
The all-new Durango. Big size, smooth ride, Hemi power.
What a quack.
The all-new Dodge Durango, starting under $26,600.
I'm Jesse James. When it comes to my cars, I'm a hands-on kind of guy. I trust the pros at AutoZone for all the stuff I need. If you care enough about your car, get in the zone. AutoZone.
Think of this as itchy, flaky dandruff, the kind that keeps coming back. Shut it down with Neutrogena T-Gel, the #1 dermatologist-recommended shampoo to help keep persistent itching and flaking away. Shut dandruff down. Neutrogena T-Gel. It works.
Hanes created the Comfort Soft waistband because we know guys. To get comfortable, they will employ every available resource. They will improvise when necessary. Guys will pass on their comfort-seeking skills to future generations.
Hello, Michael. Hey, Doc. See how the new Hanes Comfort Soft waistband is wrapped in cotton? And it's tagless.
Wow, this could be our most comfortable underwear ever.
Impossible isn't a fact. It's an opinion. Like when they said don't fight Sonny Liston. He's gonna destroy Ali. So when my father looks impossible in the eye and defeats it, what do you think I'm gonna do when they say women shouldn't box? Yeah, that's right. Rumble, young girl, rumble.
This chair doesn't look frightening. It's just oak, glue, and nails. But if you ever find yourself in it, it can be the scariest place on the planet. It's the defendant's chair, and Allstate knows how intimidating it can feel. If you're an Allstate customer and you're sued over an accident, they'll send a lawyer to defend you. You should never be alone. That's Allstate's stand. Are you in good hands?
Excuse me. Hi, can I see that laptop?
Sure. You can access the internet all around your house. It's wireless networking.
Did you say wireless?
I'm free, I'm free. Not just a puppet on a string, no ties to anything.
Find your freedom. Get a $150 rebate with any laptop at Best Buy. Thousands of possibilities. Get yours.
In 1997, the All-Star game was here. The top 50 were here, including George Mikan. You just saw Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell. And in the game, Michael Jordan recorded the first triple-double in All-Star history. But Glenn Rice was absolutely stunning with 20 points in the third quarter. And he was voted the 1997 All-Star MVP. Remember, the TNT is your exclusive home for the 2004 NBA All-Star Game at the Staples Center, which last night housed the Grammy Awards. And then this week we'll take on All-Star Weekend with John Thompson, Steve Kerr, and Craig Sager, Kevin Harlan. We are in Cleveland in Game 1 of our TNT doubleheader. The Cavaliers have not beaten Boston since the 2000 season. That's 13 straight losses. A drive by DeJuan Wagner and a foul on Carlos Boozer, who picks up his fourth. He's out there with Jop and Ali, McGinnis, and Wagner. LeBron James still on the bench. And here comes Boston. They've got Banks and Davis, Blunt, McCarty, and Yuri Welsh with the ball right now.
And all three of the frontliners for Cleveland with 4 fouls now. So we'll see if that's a factor here in the fourth quarter.
Count the two.
And when you've been beating Kevin 13 consecutive times by a team and they start creeping back, that certainly does creep into your mind a lot.
Last Celtics lead was 14-13 halfway through the first quarter. Cavaliers have led by as many as 14. They led by 10 at the end of one, by 5 at halftime, and by 2 at the end of 3. Here's Sagana Diop, drafted out of high school by the Cavaliers. Kevin Ollie, Carlos Boozer. Shot clock is down to 4. Ricky Davis, who has been booed, the ex-Cavalier, who had some unkind things to say about Cleveland once he was traded, called Cleveland the black hole of the NBA. And Boston has their first lead since the 6:10 mark of the first quarter. And that was hit by Banks, who comes out and takes the lead away from Paul Silas of Cleveland.
Well, you can see Paul Silas is upset, particularly at the emotional level right now of Cleveland. They've got to get the crowd involved.
Banks is a one-man press.
Thanks. Cheers.
Some light beers don't taste like anything. Next time, try a great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. Good call.
I told you she had a boyfriend.
The Hyundai Tiburon, with America's best warranty. 10 years, 100,000 miles. When you can be counted on, you win.
Coming to TNT. When you go after the mob, once you're in, there's no way out. Chris Noth, Mercedes Rule, Bad Apple. Don't miss the world premiere next Monday night at 9, only on TNT.
Was born in Califa, soy americano, pero mi vida es 100% mexicano. Had to believe, creí en mí mismo. To cross all kinds of borders, yo estaba listo.
Eddie Guerrero, with the Clown Prince of Boxing, Jorge Paez in his corner, takes on Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship.
This is not a game for me, this is life.
WWE No Way Out, live Sunday, February 15th on DirecTV pay-per-view. Ordering at the 7th in a series of WrestleMania 20 collectible trading cards from Fleer.
Ladies, I'm taking a lover. A lover.
Will you dance with me?
We are just starved for real romance. He's crazy in love with me.
Don't play hard to get with a man who's hard to get.
Sex and the City, the final 8 episodes, only on HBO.
The Boston Celtics come in 6 games under 500, but they are 500 on the road. In fact, they're the only team in the NBA with a better road record, John, than a home record, where they are 11-17 at the Fleet Center.
Well, and that's very strange, but in the same token, when you have a place like Boston that's so accustomed to you winning, and it's a lot of pressure probably on these players in the Boston Garden right now, so it's extremely important for these guys. I guess it's not the Boston Garden anymore, but it's extremely difficult with the tradition that they've had. Sometimes it's better to be away from home.
I agree. I think there's less pressure as a player when you go on the road, and when you've had a difficult season at home. Sometimes you just go out onto the road and relax and shoot the ball a little better.
Yuri Welsh rejected by DeJuan Wagner. Celtics have led Craig Sager for only 2 minutes in this game. What do you got on LeBron James?
Well, remember, late in that third quarter, LeBron went up for that spectacular dunk on the alley-oop and then spun around on the rim, came down, went over to the trainer, and said he felt a tinge in the back of his left calf. He went in the locker room. He has been looked at by Dr. Richard Parker. He apparently has a strained left calf, but the doctor said it was okay to give it a go and see how it is here in the fourth quarter.
And Greg, now he's wearing a sleeve on that left calf, and the shot clock buzzer sounds. A violation on the part of the Boston Celtics, who have a rare advantage. This equals their biggest lead of the game. They lead now 80-78. They trail by as many as 14. Boston, John, is shooting 45%. Cavaliers are shooting 40% for the game.
Well, Boston started out so poorly by not moving and depending so much on Paul Pierce, but now they seem to be getting a little bit more movement. They also seem to be able to get some points off of their defense by getting out in the break. That's what Cleveland has got to understand. Once they have a team on the ropes, you've got to learn to try to put them away, and particularly when you're at home.
And let's give Marcus Banks some credit. He's putting so much pressure on the Cavs defensively. He's taking them completely out of their offense. And Boston's had a great 4 or 5 minutes here defensively, thanks to Banks.
James, shot clock at 2 over Welsh. Rebound by Ilgauskas. He has a double-double. He's got 16 points. That was his 12th rebound, and he has been playing some of the best basketball of his season in the last couple weeks. Good fake on Davis, and down the lane goes the 7'3" Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
No way a 7-foot guy should be able to come from that far out without somebody snapping in on the ball, dribbling that many times.
Didn't I just say they were playing good defense?
Yeah, you did. I don't know what you're talking about. Here comes Ricky Davis knocking it in, and tonight in his return, 20 minutes, 2 of 4, 6 points.
Almost another turnover, and that again is caused by Banks, really, because he's pressuring Ollie and DeJuan Wagner and McGinnis all night, and it's just forcing these bad passes and taking a lot of seconds off the clock.
And the one ingredient that they don't have, you have a great guy to put pressure on the ball out front in Banks, but what you really need also is a shot blocker, and then the rest of the guys can just be supportive defensive teams. Defensive teams are overrated. Usually it's 2 or 3 guys that are very good, and the rest of the guys give support.
Eric Williams, LeBron James, who is 8 of 21 shooting tonight. And Williams with the shot clock at 3 for LeBron. Nails it. And for LeBron James, that is his first 3-point hit tonight, 1 of 5 above the arc.
What a huge shot, too. Another long possession, just a few seconds on the shot clock. Cleveland needed that desperately.
It's Paul Pierce. Cleveland is plus 13 in rebounding tonight.
Well, you notice now Paul Pierce is getting his shots off of screens as opposed to trying to create it off of the dribble. In the early stages of the game, he had to get him off a dribble.
Davis bumped by Williams. Those were the 2 players that were traded for each other. And Davis will be at the line, leading Cavaliers score tonight. LeBron with 22 as Eric Williams picks up his 5th foul. Leading scorer for the game, Paul Pierce, who's got 29 points. Ilgauskas' 12 rebounds leads that category.
You talked about the Celtics record being better on the road than it was at home. Well, they're being booed here, but you expect to be booed on the road. When you're booed at home, it's a different kind of boo.
Yeah, that booing is inspiring if you're on the road. At home, it kind of hurts, doesn't it?
Really hurts.
In the assist category tonight, 7 from Jeff McGinnis. 4 points and 7 assists. McGinnis has the ball right now. And a foul put on Banks, his 2nd for the Boston Celtics. Folks, a reminder with All-Star Weekend right around the corner, just a couple days away. Tune into NBA TV all weekend long for coverage of NBA All-Star Weekend 2004. They've got dawn till dusk coverage from Los Angeles beginning Thursday, continuing through Sunday. Williams, good fake on McCarty, and gets that 15-footer to fall.
And McCarty's got to do a better job defensively there. You don't chase Eric Williams off of a 3-pointer at the top of the key. Get a hand up, but stay down, because Williams, that's what he wants to do. Put the ball on the floor, hit that little 15-footer.
Davis, Pierce.
So that's Pierce again coming off of that little flex motion and getting his shot, and that's what got him going. When he was trying to create off of the dribble, he was drawing too much help.
And the Cavaliers have knocked down 2 consecutive 3-point shots.
Is that the shot you say you should give it?
Yeah, maybe when McCarty was right.
Cavaliers are 4 of 11 above the arc, and Boston 4 of 10 3-point shooting tonight.
He knocked that one down like he'd been doing it his whole career.
It always happens that way, even when you're coaching, Steve. You tell a guy can't make a shot, and boy, he'll come out there and hit 3 of them.
Nice deflection by Ilgauskas. He is playing a terrific ball game with 18 points and 12 rebounds tonight. McGinnis slashing inside. That's against Ilgauskas.
Well, that's what I was talking about before. There's no way he should be able to come from a distance and put the ball on the floor without some small guy getting over in his way. I mean, this is an example. He gives a little fake. You know, the player gets over from the Celtics and gets right in front of him and creates a problem.
Little delay of game.
The other possession of Ilgauskas came from the top of the key with nobody helping, and really the Celtics defense was at fault for that.
Here comes Banks off to Ricky Davis, picked up by LeBron James. Jeff McGinnis, whose best season in the NBA was a couple of years ago in that 2001-2002 season with the Los Angeles Clippers. Starter and over 14 points a game. Ira Newbill. Air ball caught by McCarty.
Boy, I think we need to close that door again. James Davis was talking about.
Did it surprise either of you that LeBron did not make the All-Star team?
Well, with plays like this, you know, you can certainly make a case for him. But, you know, the thing is, if you're going to talk about somebody who should have made it, you have to bring up somebody who shouldn't have. And I think all the guys on that roster are well qualified. And, Coach, you talked about today the fact that, you know what, he's a rookie. Make him earn his dues.
Make him pay some dues. I think he deserved to be on the All-Star team. I was surprised that he wasn't on the All-Star team, but I was happy as heck that he didn't make it, just from the standpoint that you've got a lot of older veterans that have also deserved to be on the All-Star team that's never been on it. It's not going to hurt him. He'll be on a lot of All-Star teams, and we know that he's an All-Star.
Is it fair to say he's probably the best player at this age, this early in his career, that the NBA has ever seen?
It's not even close. I mean, I don't know who you could even come up with at a similar stage. It's stunning what he's done at his age.
Cleveland is on a 7-0 run halfway through the fourth quarter. Boston has not hit from the field in 3 minutes.
The great thing about LeBron James, though, is his attitude as much as his ability. I mean, here's a guy who's received a lot of attention, but still, as Paul told us today when we went in to talk with him, his learning curve still has to go up, but he's willing to learn, Kevin. It hasn't really bothered him.
It's a big night in Cleveland. The Cavaliers are chasing a playoff slot. They're looking at Boston, which is currently in the 8th Eastern Conference position.
Cartoon Network's NBA All-Star Slam is back. Join some of the NBA's hottest stars as they school our cartoon stars on the finer points of the game.
Don't miss Cartoon Network's NBA All-Star Slam.
Sunday at 1, only on Cartoon Network.
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines for just $39 to $99 each way when you purchase by February 26th.
You are now free to move about the country.
The Hyundai Sonata with America's best warranty. It's more car for the money.
And basketball chosen one asked the soul of the game for court vision. And it was granted to him. Can I get a layup? I feel the soul of the game coming over me.
Tonight, the NBA on TNT is brought to you by Hyundai When your car comes with America's best warranty, you win. By Miller, there's good enough and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call. By NikeBasketball.com and by AutoZone. Get in the zone. AutoZone. John Thompson, Steve Kerr, Craig Sager, Kevin Harlan. The Boston Celtics have got a deficit now of 6. We were talking before about LeBron James in comparison to other much heralded high school kids as rookies in the NBA, and you can see from a scoring standpoint, not even close.
And the only guy I think who can compare physically at that age was Stoudemire, because you look at the other 3 guys, they were skinny as rails coming in, and they really had to work on their bodies. This kid is about 240, just built like a rock already at this age. It's amazing.
And John, I don't know if LeBron is even a shoo-in for Rookie of the Year. There's a pretty good player in Denver who led a team to a national championship at Syracuse last season.
Well, I'd love to see it be Rookie of the Years with both of these kids, because I think both of them have done extremely well based on the pressures that they both came in the league with.
Look at Ricky Davis. Of course, we're talking about Carmelo Anthony with the Denver Nuggets, who has been spectacular, averaging just 1 point beneath the 20 that James puts in here for Cleveland.
Wouldn't shock me if they did tie. Remember Grant Hill and Jason Kidd tied about 7 or 8 years ago?
Steve Francis and Elton Brand tied as well.
So it's not unprecedented, and I think if it's close, the NBA might just say, well, let's give it to both of them.
And 2 great kids as well.
Well, and both of them have handled the situation well. You've got to think of all the people who've come into the league. These 2 kids, and particularly James, have been under a lot of exterior pressure that other players might not have been under that have come before them.
Watch this by Paul Pierce. This is unbelievable.
He's so good with the ball, and then when he gets you up in the air, he just uses that strength to be able to get the ball to the rim. Most guys can't even get that ball up to the basket. Paul Pierce, so strong. Boy, he loves that one.
That is Paul Pierce's first field goal since 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
But somehow I think there's more to come.
Yes.
One of the things that you take pleasure with that, you had James on him. You're taking the youngster to school a little bit there. You get him up in the air, and then you learn how to search for the foul. But he not only got the foul, he got the basket.
And you said it, there's more coming. He's the kind of guy who all it takes is 1 bucket. And in the last 5 minutes, Paul Pierce loves to take over games.
Well, we know we talked to John Carroll earlier tonight about this team and where he thought he may fit in. And Paul Pierce is at the heart of this ball club. There is another coach on that staff, Lester Connor, a former Pac-10 Player of the Year, who is so highly thought of around the NBA. His name is now circulating for a head coaching job in the league.
And he was some player. You mentioned great player at Oregon State, and really solid player around the NBA for a variety of teams. But now there's a reason he's highly regarded. Very sharp, very personable guy. I think he would make an outstanding head coach.
I totally agree. He's one of the bright young assistants right now in the NBA. You know a name I was thinking of before, as we have a clock delay here in Cleveland? Paul Westphal. You know, he and Danny have a history together in Phoenix, and wouldn't that be an interesting guy to be head coach of Boston? He's a very creative offensive mind, well thought of guy, good with players and personnel decisions. He'd be an interesting person there.
He's also a former Celtic.
Yes, he is.
He played with Boston before
70s.
Phoenix.
Yes.
And you know, you want somebody who's going to run an up-tempo style. Paul Westphal certainly qualifies, and of course there is the current rage around professional sports of bringing somebody back after a lengthy absence, like Hubie Brown or Joe Gibbs. Maybe
John,
you, Coach.
John, you're a former Celtic.
I'm available.
Get the whistle ready.
And wait, hold on. And have Danny as your boss?
No way. No way.
Wouldn't that be ironic?
I love him dearly.
That's but that is a very interesting thing. Tonight we are getting. It's the third time I've seen LeBron. Second time here in Cleveland. His game, and Paul Silas told us this before the game. It makes a move from one game to the next, and I guess you expect those kind of leaps at this early stage of his career.
Preseason, all anybody could talk about was his shooting and how bad his shooting was. You watch him now, he's a 75% foul shooter. He's shooting big shots. He's making big shots. He's getting better and better. I think his shot selection can improve, but his balance and his fundamentals look better to me.
And one of the major differences is that he doesn't have to handle the ball anymore. He's got somebody else bringing the ball to him as opposed to his having to run the offense and set himself up. He should look to initiate more offense right now.
Well, we've been talking all night about these two sensational players. Paul Pierce is not all that long in the NBA, just 6 years out of Kansas. LeBron James, the 19-year-old rookie from Akron, Ohio, with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and great nights, both of them in terms of scoring and just what they do for their team. And that's the thing about James and Pierce. Again, you know, they've got 6 assists, 6 rebounds per player per game, in addition to very lofty scoring statistics. And that's what makes them such great team players.
Yeah, James in particular, it's amazing that he has this well-rounded of a game at this age. I mean, he makes the easy pass. A lot of young players want to make the spectacular pass. He'll make the right pass, the easy pass, the smart play. At this age, it's pretty surprising.
It is.
Well, and one thing he's doing is that he's now realizing the play has to be on himself. It's very difficult when you're as young as he is to really go out there and take charge of a team and get the respect of a team. Now he's in a position where he can receive the passes, go in and score. But Paul Silas told me that the beautiful thing about this kid is that he realizes he still has a lot to learn.
We have a clock problem here, and Craig Sager has been following this story as Paul Pierce, the mascot for the Cavaliers, are taking shots here at half court while they fix this out. Craig, what do you have for us?
Well, that sort of reminds me of All-Star Weekend. A little entertainment here, less emphasis on the game. But what happened was, after the last basket, apparently one of the wires burned out in the score clock. They've been trying to fix it back and forth. I talked to Jack Neitz, the head official here. He said he's going to wait. They went back to the back, found another clock and another wire. We have an engineer trying to fix it. Looks like it will take a few minutes. However, Jack says he does not want to continue the game with a stopwatch and an announcer. So he said he'll wait patiently to see if this guy can fix it. Meanwhile, Paul Pierce going for the half-court shots.
And a little bit off right there. Let's take a little flashback and talk a little Steve Kerr, which is always one of my favorite subjects. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Boston against Cleveland back in 1992. And speaking of half-court shots, what?
He knew he had it all the time.
That was at the end of the third quarter. And Cleveland won that game and the series, led by Steve Kerr. By the way, here during this break, the mascot just hit the midcourt shot here, doing his best Steve Kerr impersonation.
Although he had to do it over the head. I don't think I did it that way. Let's watch the mascot here. 2 hands, up and over. I love it.
Well, speaking of long-range shooting, the Foot Locker three-point shootout comes your way on All-Star Saturday with the great Peja Stojakovic, who is one of the top 3 or 4 names being mentioned so far for MVP. Kyle Korver, the talented rookie for Philadelphia. Chauncey Billups, who is a great three-point marksman. Rashawn Leonard, Rashard Lewis, and Katino Mobley. And, of course, Peja going for a 3rd consecutive shootout title.
Well, he's got to be the favorite. I think there's such an advantage in that competition when you have a little experience behind you. I know first time I was in that contest, I didn't know what to expect. It's very different. You know, you don't take 25 three-point shots off of a racket ever in your life, and then all of a sudden you get thrown out there in this competition. So
players
nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it is. Players are trying to stay loose. We've got a delay here with the clock in Cleveland. So we take a break. You're watching the NBA on TNT.
Cracked cranium, $10 copay.
Aye, aye. Aye, aye. Aye, aye.
Bruised cornea, $10 copay.
Okay.
Dislocated jaw, fractured wrist, mild concussion, $10 copay. No hurt feelings.
I'm poisoned.
Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Accepted by optometrists, neurologists, and orthopedists.
No, you can't. Hold on. world's eyes are on 18-year-old phenom LeBron James. Can he live up to the hype?
This is getting serious. How you feeling?
I don't know. Lately, my leg been acting a little funny. Funny?
Funny how? Check this.
You hear that?
Oh, man, that ain't funny. That ain't funny, man. I knew you was playing to get me.
That's the Got Milk Rookie Challenge. And what is interesting here is you see LeBron James among the rookies and Carlos Boozer among the second-year players. Oh, that's a great group of second-year players in there, too. It gives a nice foundation to the league when you see those two lists going head-to-head. That'll be a Friday night game exclusively on TNT.
Well, and I think it's something special when you start getting the guys that have been second-year players as well as the rookies involved in the ball game. I mean, I always like the fact that you have to go to certain levels and steps. Certainly LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, you can make arguments for those guys being in the big game, but it's just something about the fact that you wait your turn that can't be totally left out of this whole scenario, because there have been a hell of a lot of guys throughout the years who deserve an opportunity to be in the All-Star game, but just by the fact of numbers haven't been able to be in them.
Sam Cassell comes to mind. You know, he's having such a terrific season this year, and he's been one of the great clutch shooters in the NBA for his whole career, and this will be his first All-Star game. And so I agree. You really have to reward the guys who have done it over the courses of their careers.
I'm going to tell you what is interesting is that Craig Sager, with his mechanical engineering degree, has fixed the problem. He has been over there working with the clock people, and he has helped fix the problem.
Well, we know that won't last long.
Hey, that's the experience of running the clock for my son's games. I run juniors clocks, and there's been a lot of times where that clock has malfunctioned, you know, and need a few extra seconds. But what happened is Jack Neese put a little pressure on these guys and said, I'll give you 3 minutes to get this thing fixed. They have fixed it. They put 4:53 back on the clock. Jack does not want to take another timeout to let the teams warm up. He told Paul Pierce to go to the free throw line. He said, let's get this thing going.
Well, what was the threat? What was Jack going to do if they didn't get it fixed in 3 minutes?
They were going to have the announcer just yell out the time every 15 seconds.
They were going to have Sager sit next to him the rest of the broadcast. That made him speed it up.
So here's Paul Pierce with the game-high 31. LeBron James has a Cavalier-high 24. Just under 5 minutes to play. Cleveland has led by 14. They've led most of the game. The Boston Celtics have led for a total of about 2 minutes the entire game, trailing now by 6.
You know, you were talking about the coaches and coaches changes and what possibilities Danny may have. Heck, the issue I don't think is coaches as much as it is players at this point in time. I think that if Danny gets the right combination of people he wants, I think you've got a fine guy in John Carroll. Carroll has been put in a terrible situation where he's had to come from assistant to head coach with personnel changes as far as the players are concerned. That's a very difficult thing to get new players and then immediately have to step into that role.
And let's face it, all the changes have been made in the Eastern Conference where the teams have all been struggling. The West has stronger teams, and therefore the coaches have more stability.
All right, the Cavaliers with LeBron James, McGinnis, Ilgauskas, Eric Williams. That shot by Ira Newbill. The rebound by McCarty with James, Blunt, Pierce, and Welsh. That gives you an update on who is on the floor as Walter McCarty picks up his third. The only player in real significant foul problems now for Boston is Mim with 4. The Cavaliers have Ilgauskas and Williams each with 5 personal fouls.
And how about the play by Williams? It's not going to show up in the box score, but he gets fouled because of his great positioning for the offensive rebound. It's the kind of play that Cleveland didn't have before they traded for the veteran.
Well, and the beautiful thing about Williams is he knows what he's getting paid for. He doesn't try to do a lot of things that he cannot do. Like now, going to the basket, putting pressure on his man.
So after our 10-minute delay, Cleveland gets a nice shot from Eric Williams, who has 7 in the fourth quarter, 14 for the game, and the lead is back to 7 for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
We'll see if Paul Pierce can get himself going again.
He's got 32, working on Ira Newbill. Ilgauskas lassos his 14th rebound with 18 points tonight.
Kevin, I think that delay may have hurt the Celtics and Pierce a little bit more. Remember, Pierce had just made that fadeaway shot, getting fouled by LeBron James, had a lot of energy, and all of a sudden the delay comes and he loses that.
Cavaliers are shooting 42%, and Boston shooting 43% for the game.
Well, you're absolutely right, Steve. The Celtics were picking up momentum. Their movement was there. Now they seem to be gravitating a little bit towards what they did earlier in the game. One guy doing a lot of dribbling.
Here's Walter McCarty. He puts up a three. Boston tonight has hit 4 threes. So has Cleveland.
This is the kind of game, though, Eric Williams is really valuable to a Paul Silas because he can get set a screen as he just did. He can get offside rebounds. He can get putbacks, and he also can post up.
It's Ilgauskas. Rebound fought for and claimed by Cleveland. Cleveland is plus 14 in rebounding tonight, but they lose it, and here comes Paul Pierce. Throwing it away.
He's standing around. That's what Steve was talking about. The delay took a lot of the momentum away from the Celtics.
This is where Boston has struggled all season. The fourth quarter, where tonight they're 4 of 12. They've got 5 turnovers despite the 32 by Paul Pierce. It's LeBron James's town in his game so far.
Just how big should an SUV be? The Hyundai Santa Fe with America's best warranty. It's big on what matters and small where it counts.
I'm Jesse James. When it comes to my cars, I'm a hands-on kind of guy. I trust the pros at AutoZone for all the stuff I need. If you care enough about your car, get in the zone. AutoZone.
Sensitive teeth, what do you do to avoid pain?
I de-ice my iced tea. I microwave ice cream.
Stop the pain. Just change your toothpaste to dentist-recommended Sensodyne to build a barrier against pain.
It's easy.
Stop the pain. Change to Sensodyne.
Bringing DirecTV to our new house was real easy. We just called ahead, left the old dish where it was, and packed the receiver and remote. They gave us a new dish and even took care of the installation. Actually, DirecTV made moving an enjoyable experience.
Now it's my turn to enjoy it. Here you go. Remember to lift with your knees, dear.
Almost there.
Suck it up, guys. Let's go.
Ready for crunch time? Watch Kevin Garnett and all your favorite players with NBA League Pass from DirecTV.
Either they don't know, don't show, or don't care about what's going on in the hood.
Lawrence Fishburne, Cuba Gooding Jr., and Ice Cube, Boys in the Hood. Wednesday night at 9, one of the new classics only on TNT.
Coming to TNT. When you go after the mob, once you're in, there's no way out. Chris Noth, Mercedes Rule, Bad Apple. Don't miss the world premiere next Monday night at 9, only on TNT.
Eric Williams came over to the Cleveland Cavaliers from the Boston Celtics in a trade tonight. 5 of 9 from the field, including a 3, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, no turnovers, and 14 points.
Well, it doesn't even measure what he's brought to this game. You saw an offensive rebound that he made. You saw a huge three-pointer. You're seeing drives to the basket like this one in key situations. So he's hitting big shots. He's making big plays. His numbers aren't huge, but he's probably the difference between the Cavs winning and losing this game. And he's a free agent this summer. I would think he would be highly sought after. He's a guy who can make a big difference.
And it's intangible things that he does. I mean, he's coach-friendly. He's teammate-friendly. The coaches love him because of what he does in the locker room and what he does to put demands on his teammates. The teammates love him because of the fact that you don't have to run a lot of plays for him, and he gets a lot of the inside stuff.
Newbill with the rebound, but can't get it. Craig Sager?
Well, you're talking about, Coach, we talked to him. I said, what is the difference between the way you play in Boston and what you have brought to Cleveland? He says, I told him when I came here, I will bring a different sense of unselfish defense.
Ilgauskas the other way, good point, and the foul called on the Celtics with 2:12 to play. And Ilgauskas, you know, we talked about Williams, we talked about James, but here's this guy, 18 points, 14 rebounds, and seemingly getting stronger as the season goes on. The foul there was called on McCarty for the 4th time.
Well, he can shoot the ball.
Yes.
I mean, that's the thing that's good. I mean, he's not doing a lot of stuff going towards the basket strong, but he's getting rebounds, and now he's shooting the ball well.
Well, he was, excuse me, Kevin, he was an all-star last year. So you start thinking about the future of this Cavaliers team with LeBron James, Carlos Boozer. If Ilgauskas can stay healthy, he's certainly one of the best centers in the East. Just a matter of time before they become one of the top contenders in the conference. Just learning how to win and learning how to finish games. That's what they need to do.
Game 2 of our TNT doubleheader. On deck, Spurs and Rockets.
And I think Paul Silas has the right personality to coach this team because he's brought a kid along like James. It's not just a question of giving a guy the position of coach. We've been talking a lot about coaching. It's giving him the authority to coach. And that's the thing that I think is extremely important in this league. A lot of guys can coach basketball, but very few guys have the authority to be the coach of his own team.
Ricky Davis has just checked back in, making his return to Cleveland, where he made some comments, critical comments on the city and about the organization tonight. 26 minutes and 8 points. He's gone 2 of 6 from the field as Ricky Davis. And a foul, and this will go on Mark Blount, who picks up his 2nd foul. And here comes Eric Williams, who is 3 of 3 from the free throw line tonight for the Cavaliers.
And what a huge win this would be for the Cavs if they can hang on here. 3.5 games behind Boston for that 8th playoff spot, and obviously a 2-game swing here tonight. So this puts them right in the thick of things. And it's pretty amazing when you consider their record. You know, you throw them out west, they're about 1,000,000 miles away from the playoffs, but in the East, they're right there.
Why do you Westerners keep talking about the West?
Can you tell I'm a West Coast guy?
Boston has beaten Cleveland 13 consecutive times, dating back to the early 2000 season. A miss by Pierce, a 15th rebound by Ilgauskas, as Boston has missed 10 of their last 11, and this is what has afflicted them this season: poor 4th quarter games.
Well, you tend to be tired because Paul Pierce has to do so much for this team. I thought the break hurt them because they had gotten momentum, the offense was moving, but they became very stagnant after the break. Now Paul Pierce is doing a lot of dribbling. Where he was most effective is when he was coming off the screens.
Ricky Davis puts it back in. He's got 10. And that is the first field goal for Boston in 4 minutes.
And Paul Silas told us, Kevin, when we went to visit him, that this game was extremely important to the Cavaliers, and obviously he's conveyed that to his team.
So the Cleveland Cavaliers will be 10 wins. They'll be 10 wins ahead of last year's pace. It's Williams for 3. Rebound by James, knocked away by McGinnis and picked up by Davis for a 3 at the other end. A 16th rebound for Ilgauskas. This win for Cleveland will stop their 3-game losing skid. Boston will lose their 7th game in the last 8, and they are struggling.
How about this crowd, Kevin? The buzz is back in Cleveland.
So Cleveland beats Boston for the first time in 14 games, dating back to November 4th, 2000. LeBron James with a Cavalier high 24 points and 32 points for Paul Pierce. Final score tonight, the Cavaliers 97, the Celtics 89. Our producer, Scooter Bertino. Our director, Gary Lehman. Special thanks to Jeff Paris and Pat McGrath. Coming up, the Spurs and Rockets. And now for John Thompson, Steve Kerr, and Craig Sager, Kevin Harlan saying so long. Coming up next on TNT, Game 2 of our doubleheader. Good night from the Cund Arena in Cleveland, Ohio.
1,000 reasons to love this game. And here they go.
I love this game because I love to hear that sweet string music.
I love this game because when I'm around sweaty men, I smell better.
I love this game because when my jumper's on, it's on.
Allen, 3 more.
I love this game because you can't strike out.
Because home is where my heart is.
I love this game, and if you don't, you're fired.